Is mine good? Oh yeah.
Okay, it looks like everything's working. Yep. Sorry for the delay, everyone. We had some technical hiccups. We had a USB card die, as well as our video capture dongle dealy. So we're using a regular webcam today. It's not as great as our other camera, but most of you probably won't even care. So I'll play through this little intro and we'll get started. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. One more time.
Welcome to the show. There's nowhere else to go in this tiny little box. Blackness, we call it Bennettarium. We all wear white socks. Don't know why that's relevant. They get really dirty, so make sure you bleach them. Bennettarium.
Cool. I think that one's a keeper too.
Welcome to the Bennettarium.
Someday just release a compilation of all those.
Oh, wait. Hey, Spine! What would Peter's favorite brand of chocolate chip cookies again? Because I can't remember here in this grocery store we're at right now.
Well, you know, we always go to the grocery store around this time of year because we love to do our holiday shopping where humans love to go the most, the food store.
Yes, good old food store, TM.
Now,
Gosh.
if I remember correctly, I believe he liked Nabisco.
I don't think we can say that without the proper
I
branding
meant
license.
Nabisco.
Nabisco. Why are all these people looking? Oh, gosh. It's like they've never...
Oh, wait, maybe he liked Chips Ahoy.
Yeah, Chips Ahoy sounds really good.
Well, you know, none of us have money. They don't let us have money. But we have Walter worker Chelsea here, and she has our money. Our money, what do they call it? Allowance that what Peter set up for us. So
yeah, Robot Fun Bucks.
No, Robot Fun Bucks, because we get to pick out the presents for everyone at the manor at the food store.
Sir, Robot, can you just bring your voice down a little bit? I'm trying to help these customers here, and you're just broadcasting. You're broadcasting to the whole supermarket right now, and you just need to stop. You just need to stop. And also, your hat's silly. Wow, that's not very nice.
My hat,
he does have a point. Your hat's kind of silly.
Your hat's silly.
Oh, is that what we're doing now? Is that what we're doing? Well, okay then. Well, also, no, the rest of you is perfect. It's fine. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. Forget about the cookies. I found the perfect aisle. Right here next to the bread, there's a display for gift cards.
Oh.
Everyone's getting a gift card from me.
Why know what your friends want? What? That's stupid. Just give them a gift card.
I know exactly what the humans at Walter Manor would like.
They would
like a gift card to
gift card.
McDonald's.
To McDonald's.
Yes.
Or Starbucks.
No, McDonald's.
All right, McDonald's.
You're getting one of these cards. Okay, how much do I have to spend?
Okay, well, I'm gonna distribute your allowances.
Whoa! You're not doing your job very well. They never let us touch money.
Oh gosh.
What? I have to be in charge of all of it?
Don't tempt us.
I was just gonna give you guys some money and let you go.
We're not programmed to handle paper items. We can only handle our instruments and maybe a novelty sledgehammer for when its comedic timing is just right.
This is true. They don't want us picking up babies and throwing them yards away like a football.
That's what I would do if I got the ability to hold a baby.
Especially if there was like a field goal at the end of a long field.
I mean, you watch the Super Bowl once and you just like...
Or not at all.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's our robot improv.
Oh, that's
We're trying out. I mean, we can just keep going.
We can do this whole episode.
We can do a whole episode of that.
That was pretty entertaining. Yeah. Holiday shopping with robots. I want to see more of it. We can do it. We can do it all the way up until December.
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, on an episode with Camille, we'll do it again. Have both of us.
All right, so that was that.
Anyway.
Hey, I'm Isabella Bunny Bennett, back after a 2-show hiatus.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Because I was on vacation.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I was drinking.
waiting
Like,
for you to
I can't say anything.
I'm Chelsea Penyak. I'm a Walter worker with Steam Powered Giraffe. I'm kind of like a secondary co-host here. I'm on a lot.
I'm David Michael Bennett, and I play the spine in Steam Powered Giraffe.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I play Rabbit. I played Rabbit, yeah, the girl robot.
I guess we're not very you're getting the real, genuine fly-on-the-wall experience. This isn't rehearsed.
I think the improv was their most rehearsed thing, and that was improv.
There was no rehearsal there.
I know. That's what I was joke because I said it was improv, and that was the most rehearsed thing. So there's a lot of topics to talk about since now that you're back.
I'd say
Well, let's talk about what everyone is wanting to talk about. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which you both have seen.
No, we didn't go see it.
I was gonna say, first of all, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend.
It was all right.
Okay.
The holiday that is a day of mourning for the indigenous people of America.
Of course.
And also the whole stuff, I don't want to get too political, but the whole pipeline thing happened in the same month of Native American
Yeah, but I mean,
Heritage Month and all that.
Yeah, not arguing or anything. But I think most people don't.
America's
even,
showing its true colors.
Most people don't even know that's what the holiday is about anyway.
You're right.
It's become it's a commercial holiday, just like anything else in this
Well,
country.
at any rate,
like
I didn't do anything.
Christmas.
I played video games.
I had dinner with my family.
It's all about Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
I didn't buy
it's all
anything.
commercial now.
I bought one game. I bought Doom on PS4 for $20.
Yeah, I think I bought some skins for Heroes of the Storm or something. They
Is
were
that-
on sale?
Blizzard game.
Yeah, it's like a MOBA.
Did you buy anything for Black
I
Friday?
bought Bound on PS4 and I played through the whole game, and it was very good. I recommend it to anyone.
That one has VR support.
The sale ends tonight or tomorrow, so I recommend picking that up.
Yeah, what I saw, it was pretty good.
I mean, I can talk more about that later because they used a dancer for the motion capture, and there was a lot there for me to dissect and nitpick. But
It's one of those not game games where it's like it's not
It's
difficult
not
to play.
hard.
It's like
you're watching a story.
pretty much, and you're controlling the main character.
Yeah.
Anyways, the video games.
Video games. What
pretty
comes
much what
out
happened.
tonight?
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy. The last time we had Camille on, we talked half
Oh.
about Final Fantasy and half about ballet.
She talked for a good solid hour about Final
Oh, yeah.
Fantasy.
I
And
played the demo. I was not impressed.
See, but you played the demo that is like I don't know. That's not like the demo they released
the
before
Platinum
that.
demo, it was horrible. The frame rate was god awful.
Oh yeah, of course. It was.
The controls are just wonky, and
Yeah.
I don't have much good to say about it.
There is a Japanese demo that is like the first demo, but you can't get it unless you pre-ordered Final Fantasy. What's that PSP remaster one they made? It's so weird because basically they're just relying on people to go and buy the game. Anyway, it's getting good reviews, so hopefully the final product is not. But that demo is like, that's not the game. I don't remember playing as a child, but maybe it's in there somewhere. Unless that was just for the demo.
I have no idea.
I guess we'll find out.
I played a little bit of the first demo, but I don't really care.
But I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna, suck up the 20 frames a second, as which it seems to be running at.
It's horrible. It's so
Jeez.
bad.
But the PS4 Pro, they're releasing a patch in December, so
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
Well, I think Camille gets it at 9 p.m. tonight, and that's all she'll be doing tomorrow.
I think it unlocks for me at 9 p.m., so I'll be able to play before bed.
Tell us more if it's good.
She will tell us more next time she's on.
Yeah.
You guys seen Moana?
No.
I haven't seen. What's the last movie we saw?
Well, there goes
Oh,
that.
I saw
conversation.
Sausage Party.
I haven't seen
God.
that one yet.
Yeah.
I heard it was actually good.
If you take away all the crude Seth Rogen humor, like you know what his humor is. It's actually a very decent animated movie for adults. But the other stuff, there's some parts in there that are just like cringeworthy, and you're like, that's not funny.
I heard everyone on wherever I was Reddit. Everyone I saw who went to see it in theaters said they walked out,
Oh.
but I haven't seen it.
I mean, it's not. It's offensive, like you would imagine, but like. I don't know. I guess I was watching it because I was trying to see what was wrong with it and what was good about it. And I saw
So
what
you
was good
chose-
about it.
Did you watch Swiss Army Man yet?
No.
God, why?
'Cause probably, I don't know.
If all the movies
I
that
want
begin
to.
with S you chose, stop at Sausage Party.
But what I will say about it is the story, the writing for the story and the pacing was great. Like, it seemed like, boy, they really knew what they were doing. It didn't feel like a generic movie,
Yeah,
if that makes
I don't
sense.
know.
But yes, the jokes are pretty terrible. And I didn't laugh at it. The only ones I laughed at were sight gags and stuff like that, and like timing. I don't laugh at toilet humor too much.
Well,
There's a lot of it.
I kind of enjoyed like Pineapple Express and stuff, so maybe I'd enjoy it. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
I don't know. I got pretty. There's some racial stereotypes in there too, and it's just, I don't know.
Oh, so
It feels a little out of touch, you know. And I get it, you know, you can make fun of whatever you want, but it's just
Maybe
you're
I'll-
going to alienate your audience if you put jokes in there like
a lot
that,
of
right?
comedians, usually straight white males, you like to argue that, like, you know, comedy should be offensive and that kind of stuff. And okay, I don't think all comedy should be like completely PC and safe, but like if you're just being offensive for the sake of it, then that's not funny.
I mean, I think if you're going like to the extreme, maybe there's something like that where it's like super obvious that you're, but. And in this movie, since it's like, you know, they create this world, and yeah, it's supposed to be like pretty offensive. It's, I don't know, it feels a little like, come on, why'd you have to do that?
Yeah.
And I don't get offended very easily because, you know, a white male again, but I could definitely feel like, boy, this is definitely rough. This is not a movie to see.
Yeah.
Don't take your family to see it.
Well,
But I like that it's like, it shows that an adult movie could work if it wasn't Seth Rogen humor.
Yeah.
Because it was really well done. I mean, other than some of the only parts that I really liked was when the food is being, without spoilers, food is being murdered. They like really, even though they're not showing any bloody stuff, because it's just hot dogs and like watermelons and stuff, you know, like being cut up.
Yeah.
And just like the simplest emotions, just the way they shoot it and stuff.
Sure.
It just looks like a horror scene.
I was just thinking, like, I don't know if like well done and there's a food orgy can go in the same sentence.
I don't want to spoil it, but the ending is the
whatever.
ending I was not expecting. And does anyone care about spoilers?
I would appreciate it if you not spoil the entire movie. For
You
me.
spoiled it.
Sorry.
Anyways, you should watch it, and then
You should watch The Sorry Man.
Oh my god.
I'm not.
And we'll share
Is anyone
our thoughts
dying to watch
on
Sausage Party?
no,
I didn't see
movies that-
I didn't see the harm in
I don't want to recommend the movie to anyone. I really
Mm.
wouldn't, and only if you want to see
I
like
might see it. Maybe it'll be free on
just
Netflix
to so you can dissect like where its missteps are.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna pay
God.
money for it.
You spilled
wouldn't-
all over yourself.
I know. I spilled my chai. I don't know.
Okay, so I had to watch Swiss Army Man. I have to watch Fantastical Beasts of Harry Potter Way at
Fantastical
World,
Beasts.
and
Gosh, that was such. I wish I could talk about it.
no, can't talk about
I
that.
wish I could talk about Moana too.
Didn't
It's
see
Don't
that.
go to the movies.
Yeah, I don't go to the movie. And
Yeah.
the movies.
I don't got a lot going on other than
I-
just my interests in media, so it's just.
I want to
kinda-
see Arrival.
Oh, have you started watching the new American Dad season?
Yes, this was hilarious. The last 3
There's
episodes.
only 3.
are
Oh,
We
we
watched
watched the
so
2.
funny.
I haven't
Like,
seen
I watched it on an airplane and I was come back and it was just so hilarious.
The first one was great.
Yeah, there were some nice
There was
beats
so
in there.
much great stuff.
American Dad continues to impress.
Yeah, into what? It's 15th, 16th season?
16th season. I
Yeah,
think.
it's.
Still good.
I mean, Seth MacFarlane kind of went down a peg after Ted 2 and the transphobia in that for me, but
Yeah.
and Family Guy is kind of it's
Yeah.
the same kind of shit. Like, it's just blatantly offensive, and it's supposed to be okay because they can make fun of everything, but it's just
Some of it.
tasteless humor, and it's not super inventive either.
Well, yeah, I think
Family
the,
Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, American Dad is way better.
Yeah,
I've always
and-
been a fan of that one.
And Seth MacFarlane's like timing and stuff, like on
Yeah.
his vocal performances are really funny. Like
Yeah.
I think he excels better in American Dad than he ever does on Family Guy these days.
Sure, yeah. I mean, different writers, of course.
It's
so,
like keep him
yeah.
out of the pilot seat. Whoever is mainly in charge of American Dad's doing a fine job. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
he
kind of
has
it's
much-
half from
think
what I
he-
know, but yeah,
yeah.
it definitely is run a different kind of team and it's ran differently.
It's intelligent humor, I think. It's
Mm.
creative. It's with its
Yeah,
humor
yeah.
and how it gets its laughs.
Yeah, where Family Guy's definitely like going for pop culture references and stuff.
Yeah, it's going for the shock value. Going
Yeah,
for,
like what's
Well,
prevalent and stuff.
yeah, the jokes and the humor in American Dad are always like caused by the plot. They don't
Right.
rely on cutaways
Yeah,
for their
yeah.
humor. You know, it's all
Well,
like consequential.
They had a couple cutaways in the last couple
Yeah.
episodes,
Oh,
but they were
sure.
pretty the whole Candyman bit was
Oh, yeah.
pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
How it kept coming back.
And also that Rogers thing from lots of seasons ago,
Yeah.
the golden poop or whatever.
Oh yeah, that just
I was
kinda-
not expecting that.
Yeah, because I forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, like
There was only last season of Family Guy was they had there was the one that was like behind the scenes.
that one. I just
That was
rewatched that one
pretty
because
That's the only one I missed last season.
because of the ending, because it's all worth it. Like it's kind of just generic Family Guy
Yeah.
BS until you realize that this happens every week, and then right at the end they have here's all the best clips of Peter getting hit in the nuts with a bag of nickels, and that was actually really funny. Like
There were some parts on that one, and then I guess maybe the one where they did like where they just they did like all these high school books that you read. That had a few parts.
that was all right.
But at the same time, it's like to recommend it. It's like it's hit or miss still.
You know-
I wouldn't recommend Family Guy, but I would definitely recommend American Dad
American
to
Dad's
people.
amazing. I've been trying to. I give Simpsons a try I let it build up like 5 episodes. I'm like, okay, let's go through.
God.
It's
Nothing?
always terrible, but to its credit, as shoddy as the writing is,
Yeah.
like at least they're still a family. Like
Yeah.
Family Guy, it's just a bunch of people who hate each other, and then they come together right at the end to always learn a lesson that they
Yeah.
just forget in the next time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Homer can be terrible to Marge and stuff, but at least there's that family dynamic, and they're always playing off the family dynamic.
Sure. Well, that's what Bob's Burgers excels at too. Like
Yes.
it feels like real people, even though they're cartoons. And I think that's what Bob's Burgers, because Bob Burgers is.
Yeah.
There's only every once in a while there's something that's funny, like that one episode with the horses and Tina and the horse was talking
Yeah.
to her. That there's
I-
some moments that are really funny.
I
but,
think Bob's Burgers is pretty consistently.
but it's
great
like
to
it's very
watch.
amusing to watch, even if when it's not like hysterical.
Yeah, it's human. It's basic.
Yeah.
They don't need like a convoluted plot.
But
Like,
that one that's like from the same people who did Home Movies. If you ever watch that on Adult Swim, I mean it's got a lot of the same.
it's pretty much
voice-
just like the
voice
voice
actors,
actors,
yeah.
how they play off of each other.
There's a lot of. I think it's a slightly improv dialogue
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
I haven't actually caught up with the new season, and I'm gonna binge it when it finishes.
But just because I know we're gonna get questions like, as far as other animated shows goes, yes, we all love Rick and Morty, but
Rick and
who
Morty's the
doesn't?
best.
Rick and Morty's
The end.
great.
It's
Yeah.
like top tier.
Absolute top tier animated show for me.
I've been watching Gravity Falls season 2. That one's pretty consistently funny for like a kid show.
I don't know if there's no kid shows that I've been able to stomach yet.
Yeah, I don't really go for the kids shows. I'm just waiting for Rick and Morty season 3.
I don't need it to be like vulgar humor. Like I feel like Bob's
no.
Burgers is a good example of like there's nothing vulgar in that show.
No, they don't offend people.
So I don't
which
need that. I just
respect.
when it's aimed
They're
towards
still
kids, I
funny.
feel like it. I'm trying to pick my words carefully.
There-
I feel like it's meant for people who are eating pixie sticks all the time
There's a little bit of that.
because it's so much sugar and hyper, and I
Totally
just
get
can't.
that.
I would say
Yeah.
there's a little bit of cartoons are getting a little bit more lenient in like what they show, violence or language.
Except for
or
Ren and Stimpy
scenes.
on Nintendo.
Well, that's
Yeah.
more the
Nickelodeon.
extreme. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure. There's a lot of they're meant for children.
Yeah.
Like Steven Universe and stuff. Maybe it's just it's too good. It's like a lot of good morals, right? Like it's kind of.
I
Yeah.
got
He's a
through
very
season-
happy character.
I know.
and
I'm
he's
like,
always
oh my
looking-
god! Like I see so many young people like watching Steven Universe these days. Like that's their cartoon. That's what they're growing up with. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! I was like watching Rocko's Modern Life and Ren and
We
Stimpy
grew
as
up with
kid.
a lot
Like,
of different
what is
morals. I
no
like that
wonder
the Steven
I-
Universe is it's a
Yeah.
good message, you know?
I like
Same with
Steven
Adventure
Universe,
Time.
like-
Adventure Time has had a few, because now it's ending, but they had a...
Is it ending?
Yeah, finally.
Is this the last season?
I think so, yeah.
But also, doesn't that make you think that like maybe that's why the younger generation is like not more sensitive, but
But I don't know, we grew up watching like
It's
Bugs
like-
Bunny, like that was what it was. I remember
Like-
watching Looney Tunes reruns all the
I
time.
don't think cartoons
And Rocko's
are
Modern
as like,
Life?
violent and horrifying as they were when I was
No.
growing
But I
up.
think there is a lot of random cartoons. There's like I mean I don't know. I'm not familiar with all of them, but there is a lot of good moral cartoons like Clarence and stuff. He's a good kid. He's always inclusive
I
with
don't know
everything he
that one.
does. Yeah, I watch a lot of children's cartoons. Or like there's a lot of random humor like what is it? Amazing World of Gumball, which also has
I tried a few times.
I don't know
Well,
any
anyways,
of
they got their randomness and kind
Even-
of weird stuff that we grew up with, but
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's not as timeless as... I think that's the difference, right? You watch a Looney Tunes cartoon, it's like,
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't matter what
guess.
age you are, it
Yeah.
works. But I feel like some of this stuff is like, it's very meant for a certain adolescence, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I feel like some of those Nickelodeon shows that you watched back in the day, like, that has that as well. Like, I I don't remember liking Hey Arnold, but I remember watching it as a
Yeah,
kid.
same.
And now, as I grow older, I'm like, boy, I hate this.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
I also don't like the
Rocket
art style of
Power,
that.
Yeah.
I don't like
hated
wild.
that
I,
show.
like, I don't like Wild Thornberries. I didn't like the art
Nope.
style of that at all. Whatever that art style is, get it out. I
It's-
don't like it.
It's so ugly.
It's
I'm
ugly,
It's
that's
that
what
one
it is.
studio. It's that one
That's
Yeah.
just
studio in particular.
Rugrats.
What it is.
I was never. I think I
yeah.
liked Rugrats. growing up.
surprisingly. I think the same art style from like Wild Thornberries was also Real Monsters, and I
I kind of
liked
like that one
show.
though.
But it kind of worked.
But it worked
'Cause they're monsters,
they
yeah.
weren't-
Everything was kind of yeah, I liked Real Monsters because
Like-
the humans were pretty grotesque looking in that
Yeah,
show.
like in Wild
it
Thornberries,
worked.
they looked grotesque and they weren't supposed to.
There really wasn't a reason for them to look grotesque. I mean, I
Other
guess
than
you
be
could argue that
stylized.
it was because they're
those
interacting
little
with
beady
animals
eyes.
and humans are
Yeah.
animals, and then I don't know.
It's
like,
just a style. It's a style.
Anyone
choice.
remember As Told by Ginger? That was another
I'd
one.
never-
Same art style.
I was pretty much out of cartoons when Rocket Power and all that happened, but
Yeah.
I remember not liking Hey Arnold, not liking Wild Thornberries.
It was all about
Rugrats was pretty good. I
Rocco.
liked Doug. Doug was good.
I hated Cat Dog.
kind of like Cat Dog. either.
Yeah, I wanted to like Cat Dog, but nope.
I think
like it. Ren
Like-
and Stimpy was
Yes.
we loved that as a
That was
kid.
a good one.
And but those ones that I feel
still
like I
quote
like
Ren and Stimpy.
still hold up to this day, and maybe that's because I'm biased because I liked them.
Yeah, I know.
But there are some shows that I'm like, this didn't hold up as well. But I feel like
Sure.
a lot of those shows, because they're not really geared towards children.
Yeah.
You know, like Rocko's Modern Life ain't
not.
nowhere close to being
I
marketed
mean,
for
I remember
children.
a few years ago seeing some. I don't remember what channel was playing them, but they were on the TV, and I was just like, "What? Like, I watched this as a
Yeah,
kid."
I remember
Oh my
watching Ren and
God.
Stimpy. I'm like,
Right.
how did we not grow up to be serial killers?
So much goes over your head. There's so
Yeah,
much
there is so
adult
much,
humor flying past
Oh,
under
yeah.
the radar. That
I think cartoons still do that. There's always
There's a
because they're
few,
created by
yeah.
adults. Like of course Bugs Bunny. It's infamous for that whole team being like, it was basically adult humor. And
Yeah.
what do the kids see? They see the cartoon rabbit and
Bugs,
some of the sight
yeah,
gags.
Looney Tunes were not meant for kids.
There's-
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole like cartoons are meant for kids is a very new idea.
so maybe there. I mean, I think there's always stuff that caters directly to kids. It might be a little boring for adult minds,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but generally speaking, like there's so many, like Adventure Time being one where certainly, like you said, like there is a lot of it can almost date itself with the language it uses and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like that's who knows how
Can't-
language is going to evolve, and like
right.
they're using all
Can't
these
say
like.
I've seen much of that one.
But Adventure Time also kind of makes up its own. It's like slang. It has a lot of slang
Yeah.
in it, like,
Oh yeah.
and they make kind of cutesy stuff up in there, and
I can see the appeal of that one.
Which one?
Only Adventure Time.
Oh yeah, Adventure Time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one feels like it's fighting two different audiences.
Yeah.
I feel that's how when I watch it. I mean, because I like it, but sometimes I'm like, is this for
it's
adults? Is this for
I would always
it's-
get that one mixed up.
Because
with
then if you go and
regular
watch
show.
something like that's meant for adults, what's that one that's on YouTube? That's made by Pendleton Ward.
you're the Bravest Warriors.
Yeah, like that. I'm like, yes, I get
It's
it.
true. Well, I think also Adventure Time, like it's been going for so many seasons. The voice actors have aged.
Yeah,
to
he's
Oh,
not
yeah.
a kid anymore. Yeah.
And also, they've been doing it for so long. He kind of has freedom because it's so popular. So
Sure, yeah, yeah.
he's pushing it towards a more
I don't.
serious.
That's not bad or anything. It's
Yeah,
just
I
I
don't
feel like when I look at Bravest Warriors, I'm like, okay, now it's like it makes sense to me, and it appeals.
But the only thing that Bravest Warriors
Yeah.
has different is maybe it references sex or a bad word
Alcohol
every
or
once in a while.
something,
But
yeah.
it doesn't
I don't
need all
need
that.
that, yeah.
It's like it's pretty much just Adventure Time too, as
You're
far as
right,
I'm
yeah,
concerned.
yeah.
Like it's just more wacky plots and.
But I guess the difference is you see one that's the Evolved project, and here's one that was obviously based on.
Yeah.
They obviously learned like, oh, this, I don't know. It seems more.
Yeah.
They didn't have to grow with it, if that makes sense.
But like Rocko's Modern Life is really great. I think it was very formulaic. Like it was very classic cartoon. What cartoons have going for them now is that I think they can take a little bit more risks. Like I know maybe you haven't seen so many of the ones I'm talking about, but like Rocko was great and all. Like, and I think it was way ahead of its time in like the humor department and like.
Yeah.
But it was very formulaic. It's the ending seasons are a little bit better than like. The whole beginning is very like
No, I don't
boring,
I don't
kind of.
remember, like what order they go in.
there is a lot of sight gags and stuff, but like most cartoons now, I don't know, they're almost like sequential. Like
Yeah.
the characters change. I don't know why, but I kind of find it interesting.
Serialized.
Yeah.
Yeah, older cartoons aren't as serialized.
I think it's just how the formats used to be of like, because
Same
kids
for
aren't
live
watching
action
it like
TV too.
like a series. They're just tuning
Right.
in whenever.
Yeah.
And they basically, you don't want to give them too much information that they have to know about, right?
It's kind of like what happened to Avatar, right? Like it started off kind of being, but then they kept pushing towards this overarching story, and pretty soon, like,
But all that's really great. Serialized stuff is great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
South Park started doing that, and
Right.
now it's just.
it's like one giant episode.
Oh, someone mentioned Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was
No, boy, I hate that
that
show.
was a weird one.
I
That
also
one
don't
gave
like
me
the art
nightmares
style.
as a kid. That one.
I mean, there's probably some funny parts from it,
There's-
but I did
there was
not
some
like it.
weird dissonance with like I think the sound design in that show that just like gave me nightmares as a kid. They did some really creepy stuff with sound and visuals.
I didn't like the art style.
I never really hooked when I was a kid, but I think it's because I was getting older a little bit then. But
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
episodes now, I can appreciate, like, okay, this is kind of cool, like, it's creepy, but
But yeah, I mean it was never one of my favorites.
yeah, I never really
It haunted
enjoyed
me.
it.
That show haunted me whenever I had to like suffer through an episode.
I think Ren and Stimpy was probably my favorite, and John Kay is kind of a character, but like he really he had a rule, like no frame, the characters can't look the same in any
Oh,
scene. They always have to look
yeah.
different. So they just have Ren and Stimpy are just they just go everywhere. Like
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, you see that in some of
so
the more
grotesque.
some of the like Frederator cartoons. You see like that kind of because it's like hand drawn. You can tell like
yeah.
some of them are, and so but that makes it funny. I think it adds to the
There
humor.
was one you showed me, like a modern cartoon that reminded me of Ren and Stimpy. I think it was called Super Jail.
Oh,
Super Jail is
yeah,
really
Super
great.
Jail.
I was really impressed when I watched a few of those episodes.
Oh
by
yeah,
the
and the ones I showed
animation.
you were from the newer seasons, which they're all
Yeah.
done in HD because it starts in like SD and then they switched over to
It
HD.
really
and
brought
it
me
was-
back to like Ren and Stimpy childhood.
It's really
cartoons.
fast-paced, and like
Very
that art style looks a
strange.
little grotesque, but I don't know. It works for the animation and stuff.
It's just
Yeah.
it's basically that they always have the scene in that show where what is it? It's just you just follow this journey
Yeah.
through this like all this terrible grotesque
Like
stuff
it
happening.
wasn't
on
even like
Yeah.
it wasn't even super appealing to me as a show, but like I want to watch more just because of the art.
Yeah,
the,
I mean, the
animation
artwork's
is
really
so
well done.
Well done.
It's really great.
What and didn't that same studio also make Ugly Americans?
You know, they might have made it. I know they've done a couple things actually.
Or was it? Am I mixing up two different things? I think it's the same studio.
Yeah, they actually made a couple things, but it's kind of
So Ugly Americans was pretty good too.
I liked Ugly Americans. It was cool. Comedy Central's given a lot of good pilots out there. They also made some terrible shit, but
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about cartoons.
Yeah.
Somehow.
it's great.
What, are we doing another improv thing? What are we doing now? What's next on
Oh
the?
gosh, I don't know.
What is the?
Don't really plan these out.
Not much has happened in the. Nothing that we can talk about anyways because of super
already-
secret
Yeah.
Secret
We
Draft
already
project.
talked about Doctor Strange, I'm guessing.
No,
No.
we didn't. Last time we talked about it, we hadn't seen it yet, or we had. I don't remember.
Maybe we did talk about it.
I don't know.
Camille was here. I don't see why we wouldn't. But we were
Yeah.
right. We talked about ballet and.
Yeah, we didn't really talk
Final
about Doctor
Fantasy.
Strange.
Anyways, we all saw Doctor Strange.
I would say I'm guessing you didn't see it in 3D because converted or something, right?
Just because if you go to I don't want to say where we went, but because
The movie theater.
the 3D glasses hurt your eyes. They're bridging your nose. They're active lenses, so it sucks.
I saw it in Detroit, and the movie theater we went to. The projection and the light, the sound was amazing. Like it was the best I've ever seen. And you know, I think my eye could tell like, well, then again, like the movie is so much CG.
CG, it is all real.
But
3D.
it looked amazing. like it was just
But
like
it was
a
still
visual.
a visual
Yeah.
feast, even in 2D. So, but yeah, I would love to see it in 3D, but it's comfort.
Okay, well,
If
it was really
I go
good.
see an IMAX movie, I'll see it in 3D because I like
Yeah.
those glasses. But if I see it in unnamed theater that we go all the time,
Yeah.
I can't do their
Yeah,
active
they're not
lenses.
very-
they're
they're
not
not very good
comfortable,
there.
especially because I wear glasses too when I watch a movie screen, and they hurt by the end of the movie.
I would say it was
Yeah.
a pretty. Yeah, I've watched the I'm not super familiar with Doctor Strange, but I did watch the movie from a couple years ago, the cartoon one, which I thought was really great. The movie really condenses everything down, like, which is all right, but
we get spoiled with these series. Like when we're watching Westworld and stuff, it's like you get a long movie basically with a series.
Watching like a 2-hour-long movie
and then you see a movie,
no development can happen is kind of frustrating.
It's like, oh yeah, because that's why I like the idea of smaller movies. Like what was that Dread 3D? Remember that movie,
that
Dread?
Was so
that was
good.
the best way to do one of these movies.
I heard
super small like plot, right?
Just very recently, what's his name, who played Dread, blanking on his name. He said that they're finally putting the second one into production.
That'd be cool. That's like the way to do these movies. If you only have this much time,
Carl Urban.
You gotta like bring down your epic feast into like just a small little thing, and that movie's just him in a building.
Excellent.
It's great, and you get everything. You get character development. I mean, that's how I feel like, because you don't have much time in a 2-hour movie. You go watch the Avengers and all any of those movies, it's like so much happens. You're like,
yeah.
ugh.
Oh, I would watch Dread like a million times over Avengers.
Anyways, Doctor Strange, I thought it was pretty good.
I think I'm getting I was a little tired of the
origin superhero story.
I was extremely
They could've taken
apathetic
some
towards
more.
it.
I thought they could have taken more risks. I
Yeah,
just felt
yeah.
like, I
That's what I
thought
said.
his
Formulaic,
performance
right?
was awful.
Oh, he wasn't a very memorable character.
No.
I was embarrassed. I was hoping that he would bring something different to it, but
It was.
I wouldn't say that his performance was terrible. I think it was uninspired.
right. There wasn't.
Because it wasn't like, oh, this is a really great character. I can't wait to see him again.
It's the,
He's just I felt like a generic guy.
Well,
unfortunately.
and
That could be writing. It could be story.
I think a lot of it was writing, because I'm gonna, take some notes from what Red Letter Media's review, but something they said was he should have just played the asshole character straight. You could tell that the script snuck in jokes and pop culture references, the whole Beyonce thing. I was just rolling my eyes. I was like, it feels out of character. Like if he would have been a better character if he just played himself straight. But they had to make him kind of funny, the funny asshole.
And it was kind of like,
he's just like everyone else.
Doesn't Iron
Tony
Man
Stark.
already exist? Doesn't Tony Stark already exist?
Just make him different.
and he's not anymore.
It's like Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy. They all have to be the same character.
They're
It's boring.
arrogant.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's nice as a one character, but then everyone's. Was it like everyone's Han Solo, basically?
To its credit, I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but Iron Man 2, and honestly, almost all of Robert Downey Jr.'s performances as Tony Stark, the subtlety of how he's working in his emotions, even in Civil War, there's just this. He has the ability to make you feel a little if this was a better movie, I'd actually feel
the last
something.
the last one was
3.
Three had great.
Civil War
yeah.
and number three, was
Number 3 was the Iron Man movie that came after Avengers, and he
the panic attacks.
He had the panic attacks.
There was a pretty good. There was some good
that
stuff in that movie.
That was really well played.
I would love
But Doctor Strange didn't have any of that. It was a visual feast for sure. But
even Thor was amazing. In terms of looking at a character and them
loved
emoting.
The first Thor movie was good.
I really liked it. The
liked
second
it.
one was
Second
god
one was
awful.
garbage.
I wouldn't say it's god awful. It's more
Horrible.
Well, even they said
I would say
they
it
were
lost its way. Or
even
something.
Marvel's
Yeah.
they're Ragnarok. They're trying to up their game because they recognize it was not. It's not everyone. It's not. I don't think it's anyone's favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Thor 2 sucked.
I mean, saying that it's garbage is because it has some visual things in it that look nice. But
That doesn't help.
But I would say it's still better than a movie than Sucker Punch.
I don't remember anything
That's a
about
garbage
Thor
movie.
2. I saw Sucker Punch. I don't remember anything about
That was
either.
garbage. That was garbage.
For
Bad acting.
The
everything.
Marvel movies,
Yeah.
at least even with any shortcomings I talk about Doctor Strange or Thor 2.
Sure.
You still have the things that you like Loki
Yeah,
and Thor's.
yeah.
Anthony Hopkins is in it. There's Heimdall.
There's
being
good
great.
parts in the movie, but as overall, it's like Thor 1 has some better stuff going for it.
Thor was excellent. Thor 2 just felt like the Loki show to me.
But
he was kind of
lost
written
entrance.
into extended scenes
because everyone was so all about
I know.
Loki.
Same thing happened with Jack Sparrow. Just leave it be. Just the people like the side characters because you like them in small doses. You can't have too much of a good thing.
Isn't it kind of weird that even something like Beetlejuice is a side character. You know what I mean? But that's what makes it.
This is all opinion, but some opinions are more right than
others. Yeah.
No. Just kidding.
But superhero movies are fatiguing because it's pretty much the same formula, and they're trying to play it safe to a degree. Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the most ambitious or most risk-taking movie, I guess. But then when you now that we've had that, you can kind of see like, okay, even that's formulaic,
Yeah.
right? Like they're kind of.
It's just Doctor Strange, you know, the title character. Your movies should have been strange.
Right.
Should have taken more risks.
I will here's a little bit of spoilers if you haven't seen it, but the ending I thought was one of the best parts of the movie.
Yes.
Because
It was a good
it
one.
wasn't him
The
like.
climax.
I mean, they did have the giant beam column of light going into the ceiling. Like
course.
that's every movie's bad guy.
Yeah.
We got to stop that light going into the sky. But when he went into that light, it's like this altered dimension, and he doesn't use like a sword or magic to like kill this
Yeah.
thing because he can. It's like a big dimensional being that is invincible.
Yeah.
So
Uses
it's like
his
his brain, and I liked that because it's like, wow, this is, and
And
it's
it
like a
was
big
set up
time loop,
earlier in the
and I don't want
movie.
to ruin it
I wish
completely.
the
but
movie had more of that because
He used his wits.
seeing like the violence in that scene and kind of how they kind of made it humorous, I was like, yeah, see, like that's like what I think of like when I'm thinking of like dark
Yeah.
arts and stuff. It's
Yeah.
kind of this morbid kind of
Like,
funniness that they could have
The
done.
Yeah.
whole movie should have taken place in this cool.
That
weird
was really
dimension.
cool.
Like,
Well,
there
yeah,
should
and
have been more of
it's kind of, but the ending, which was pretty great because it's just him like, I figured out this time loop, and now you can't kill me, and he just it's basically like Groundhog's Day. He gets killed over
Right.
and over again, and that's really great. And it went on for just the right amount of time, I think, because it was like,
Yeah.
And
it's
he
funny
pla-
the first few
he
times.
actually
and-
played the villain.
He did?
He was fighting himself.
Wow.
I really like Tilda Swinton's performance.
No,
I
no.
think she's amazing in everything. I
That's
think
pretty
all
good,
her
yeah.
beats were really.
Yeah.
She made use of every moment on screen.
Yeah,
Her when she's off screen, when she goes off screen in that one scene, like, it's great. I just thought all her moments were like great. I don't know why, but she just.
No,
did-
she
Yeah.
was doing well.
Tilda Swinton.
I know there was
I love
controversy
Tilda
with
Swinton.
the casting because the original characters
You know what?
if they did the original.
If you start doing your
casting.
research for that, you can't really fault them. They took the best route.
I think
It would have
it's good
been
that
it
they
would have
went
been
that way.
very offensive if
it's
they
an
kept
extremely
the original character.
It's an extremely sensitive political
Exactly, yeah.
landscape over there, and they
And,
were like,
yeah, Marvel
they
has
just
movies in
decided to
China, it's
avoid
gonna
that.
be a
You were
big
going to
deal.
offend more people if you cast.
But whatever, it's
someone
whatever. If you are offended, don't like it. That's
Just
your own
don't watch it.
prerogative. Yeah, unfortunately, if a movie like Sausage Party, which is like probably the worst offensive movie ever, can get made, I'd rather even a movie like as terrible as that one could be made. Just because it's like if that's entertaining to someone out there, okay, but it definitely is not hurting anyone. I believe.
You know what I?
Maybe a little bit.
I think Marvel suffers a lot from its villains being kind of forgettable. Loki being an exception. I think Ultron's all right, but what I kind of actually liked Hannibal, and I don't know his character's name.
Was he in Marvel?
Maz Mikkelsen.
He was in Doctor Strange. I actually,
He
even
was
though
the
he had,
villain, the purple eyeshadow villain.
Oh yeah.
Even though
I
he
said
just had a
he
little bit
played
of-
Hannibal on the show.
he only had a little
Okay.
bit of screen time, but I liked when he was interacting with Benedict Cumberbatch. Like,
Sure.
there was just an authenticity that was like, oh yeah, he's not so mad. He has
I
like
was
an angle he's coming
actually,
from.
he's not too bad.
But then at the end, the Raiders of the Lost Arks and
Yeah.
explodes or whatever. I don't know. But it's
Yeah, I like him. He's not a very. He's kind of forgettable,
yeah,
but,
it's not a very because to me it
but I
felt
like
like, is
the
this the villain
actor.
from Guardians of the Galaxy? Because
Yeah.
they're starting to
Yeah.
blend now.
At
It's like,
least-
is this the villain
Was-
from Thor 2?
He wasn't a memorable villain. Like
No.
he didn't look very great. He looked.
but at least it was an actor I like. Kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
how I'll go out of my way to see stuff that Ian McShane's in because I like him as an actor.
Well, there's some good parts in the movie,
and
but
he
it-
was about like
it doesn't make it the best movie. Like I liked Ant-Man, but even that was
Yeah.
kind of doldrum to a
Oh
degree.
yeah, that was,
It's just not enough risk, and
Well, okay.
the movies people like are ones that tell a good story well.
Yeah,
and not
Ant-Man-
tell a good story
don't know.
overdone. Like I don't know.
my
what that
main
is.
issue with Marvel is that they're just very, like factory made
Cookie cutter, yeah.
The thing is, like, I enjoyed watching Ant-Man. I enjoyed watching Doctor Strange. But the minute I leave the theater, that movie is out of my head.
It's not like
I don't.
it's not
I'm
like
not
it's not
thinking about
Shawshank
it.
Redemption.
Yeah,
You're not
you're
gonna
not
be like,
thinking
"Oh,
about it afterwards, and you
I
know,
love the
don't-
cinematography. Like,
Yeah.
no,
True.
it's.
It's.
I mean, some of the
it's
stuff,
empty.
that visual stuff was pretty on par. Like, I think it raised the bar from Inception. Had really nice, that kind of visual
Special effects were pretty
yeah.
gorgeous. I like the energy fan and.
So
a
it,
lot of
had,
the
it
magic
has
was done
it has
well.
going on
What
with
was
that.
the
That's
thing?
good.
Oh
yeah,
trying
the-
to do it afterwards.
I can't remember, but yeah.
Visually, it's great, but yeah, we just need better scripts. We need better writing. It's
Now
becoming
it just makes me think
predictable.
of that first Ant-Man movie. That what that have been like? It probably would have been
What
so
could have
great
been? Yep.
with the what was it?
What's
the
his name?
I'm glad we got something like Guardians of the
Nick?
Galaxy.
Nick something.
Yeah, what's his face?
from. We know what we're thinking of.
Cornetto trilogy.
The Cornetto, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
That would have been great because it would have been so refreshing to
says
see
it.
a super movie. It's like the superhero movie, but just done, told differently.
Everything's better.
And they're
than
gonna have
Sucker
to
Punch.
keep-
Imbol is better than Sucker Punch.
They're gonna have to try harder.
But I
soon.
don't think even DC's not really taking risks, you know?
That Justice League trailer just looks so cringy. The one from Comic-Con, it's just Bruce Wayne being smug and like going like this to all the event, all the heroes, and it's just like all
I
these
don't know.
engineered lines and stuff.
I
That feel
think
so.
Guess we're gonna need to get a
marketing
bigger boat. That's probably what you're saying.
and
You bring
marketing
your trident.
and-
I don't know what he says.
I mean, obviously, look at what they're doing with the way they edit the trailers, the pop music they use. They're banking off of the success of like
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, but
I mean,
Let's not
the
forget
jury's still
Suicide
out
Squad.
on
How
what the
terrible
oh
Suicide Squad-
boy, that was.
That was
like-
god awful.
that was
Now you're
a
just playing
train
music.
wreck.
And-
That was a train
and
wreck,
you-
but it was so fascinating to watch because the whole time I was watching it, I was like, it was so obvious where, you know, like depending on the editing and the cuts, like where the executive meddling was happening. It was really sad because like I feel like the director may have had a good movie at some point.
But then they threw
but
in
they
all this
butchered
music.
it when
It felt weird. It definitely
Guardians
felt
of the Galaxy
disjointed for
became
sure.
a thing.
But
You
I hear
guys-
the director's cut wasn't any better. It just had some
Yeah.
extra scenes.
Darn, I was gonna rewatch it, hoping that it was better, but
It's still the same movie.
visually,
Kinda
I didn't think
like that new Fantastic Four movie. Kind of feels like what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, I think both Fantastic Four and Suicide Squad visually like all right. Like I didn't like.
Yeah.
I was accepting of it. And I thought like Crocodile or whatever his name is looked really good.
I liked
Yeah.
all the
Looked cool.
visuals in Suicide Squad except for the witch.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. I like the idea behind it, but it just was.
It looked really bad.
There was some
but-
redeemable stuff in there. It was just horribly.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And Will Smith's just trying his best, but he can't.
Will
help.
Smith was the best thing about that movie.
true.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly, like you know, everyone was like, "Oh my God, Harley Quinn!" But
I
like
hated Harley Quinn so
Will
much.
Smith was
Yeah.
my favorite part of the movie.
I hated Harley Quinn because
Yeah.
she has
What-
no reason to be there.
yeah.
She wasn't insane. It was just there's no reason behind her being
Yeah.
infatuated with the Joker. There's nothing. He's
And
not
they
even
had
a
some
redeemable
backstory
Joker.
stuff. yeah.
And if I can state
Oh
my
my
opinion on Jared Leto, or however you say his name, I have to say I think he was the worst performance of the Joker I've ever seen.
We didn't really get to see him much.
quite-
No, but
You know,
what
what
he
we
did
did,
do-
what we
We
did
should
see
have
doesn't
seen
really.
less, honestly. We should have
Yeah.
seen much less of him because it felt like
when the promo photos came out of him like last year or something, half the audience, half the people on the internet were like, "This looks terrible." Half were like, "I can't wait." It's I'm so excited to see a new take on the character. And I lived through the reveal of Heath Ledger as the Joker. I remember the night they released the very first image, and everyone just like lost their shit and said, "This looks terrible. This is going to be horrible." So when they released the first pictures of Jared Leto, I was like, "All right, I'm going to give him a chance. This could be good." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh no."
Well, I mean, Mark Hamill's going to be the Joker forever. That's
Oh, yeah.
That's how I imagine it because that's how we saw in the '90s cartoon. It was the same kind of thing,
Even
But I feel like even like the Nolan Batman movies, they're just not. To me, they're not they're a completely different universe of Batman because they
yeah.
don't fit into
They're
that
not trying to
Tim
be-
Burton-esque, or they don't fit into
not
the
trying to
comic
be
books
that.
or the even the '90s cartoon. Like,
I respect
and I like the '90s cartoon. That's kind of like what I
respect the
imagine.
Nolan
it.
trilogy because I know that the third one's pretty bad, but I know what they were doing. They weren't pretending to be
I
something
liked the
else.
second one, and I hated the first and third one.
I loved the first one. I loved number one.
I just all I can is I'm just someone who likes to rattle the chains, and I was done. I tuned myself out.
I don't know. For me, it's a nostalgia factor. Like I watched Batman Begins like
It's interesting to see the various takes on it. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
I watched that
Like,
one a
don't-
lot with Camille when we were like in the Nutcracker, and like we'd have to come home every night, and we'd only have like 2 hours before bed, and we would always put that on and just like, you know, recite the lines to each other. It's like one of those nostalgic things where it's like,
Did
I
you
know
recite
it's,
that one?
Yeah.
I mean, go
No,
watch
it's
Suicide
like-
Squad and then go watch Batman Begins. And tell me
No,
which
I
one's
know.
better.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Batman
I don't want
Begins-
to put it on par with that. It is
No,
a.
no, no,
I would
it's-
much rather watch.
It's actually a
that.
really good movie.
It's good.
I will
It's just-
defend it.
But it's. I think what. Not that it.
But I know it's not like comic book Batman. I know it's not
It
that.
isn't.
It's-
Yeah, that's why I think it's why.
He's barely Batman. It's just supposed to be.
But I did like the second one.
What if Batman?
'cause
What if
what's
a
his
crazy
face
guy
is
actually
amazing.
dressed up as a
Yeah.
bat in like real life?
I
Like,
thought.
Everyone forgets in the Dark Knight. They're like, "Oh man, that was so good," and like, then you forget. No, it wasn't. Remember how shitty
Two-Face?
Two-Face looked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how underused it was and stupid, and
Yeah.
like he wasn't even a villain. He was just a burned man that died.
He died
He's
like
an hour later. Like,
That was pretty terrible. Yeah.
everyone forgets how terrible it was because
Oh my god!
Because
Heath
Heath Ledger
Ledger
was
was
so great,
amazing.
yeah.
I like peed my pants in the theater when he's laying there in the bed. And it's all quiet. All of a sudden he's like, "Say it!" Like, remember he just like starts screaming.
I
like, "Oh my
thought his
God."
performance leading up to everything was great. I was like, oh
And
my
then he
gosh,
just
like,
dies
this
in
is
car
like,
crash.
this is like
Or
butter. It's
something,
just
right?
like great. But
No,
then,
no. He
Then he turns into CG and it's
he
over.
like falls off the building at the end. Remember?
It's a chump way to die, and I hate when they do
Yeah.
that. It's like that in Spider-Man 2. Like Venom's finally here, and oh, he's dead by in half an hour.
He has,
that's-
he has
Nolan-
that whole scene with Gary Oldman's kid at the end. It's not
Yeah.
that bad, but
No,
his
Nolan,
death
the
is
Nolan
pretty lame.
trilogy, it's just, everything's condensed. It's not Batman. I don't see it as Batman. I don't look at it and think
I don't
like,
really see it as Batman either.
You know what got Batman
But
really
I like
good?
him.
the Arkham games. Those all do
Yeah.
Batman pretty well. That's all like all the villains, all the character designs are really nice. Like, it's great. I think those. As far the games are pretty repetitive and I don't know.
my favorite's always going to
They're
be
good.
Batman Returns. And I know that seems weird, but
That is, I like that one too.
I know
think
it's
that's good.
so over the top and so corny, but
I haven't seen
but
that
it's
one
kind of
either.
like
I
Tim
don't
Burton's not a
remember
great.
it.
I don't think Tim Burton's a great director. I don't know what the heck. Sometimes he can make some good stuff, but
Yeah,
that
Big
one,
Fish
like,
is a good one, but
Yeah.
everything else.
Batman Returns is just a great. There's these three characters, and they're all crazy. There's superheroes and supervillains, but they're just crazy people that dress up like
Yeah.
animals, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And you see, like, when the Penguin comes on stage, a screen and everything, it's just like all about the performance, all about the makeup.
Yeah.
And even the city is a character, and it just, I don't know. The more every time I go back and watch it, I'm always like
Yeah.
so impressed with how
I mean, the
how
first one's-
operatic it is, and how like
Yeah.
The first one,
disturbing.
the first
and-
Batman, Tim Burton Batman, kind of did the same thing.
It,
But it was
Yeah.
even more corny because some of his head.
it was his first
Yeah.
movie, and it kind of broke a lot of. It kind of was the first superhero
Superhero
movie that we
movie,
think
yeah.
of when we think of things like Spider-Man. And
But yeah, the
stuff.
second one is. I think that's the best one.
I haven't seen the Tim Burton Batmans since
And it
I
goes
was like a
downhill from
kid,
there.
so I can't really comment on them.
Jack Nicholson's pretty frightening. I know that a lot of that's nostalgia, but it still holds up a little bit. The makeup's a little silly, but makes a good Joker.
Tim Burton, his more subdued stuff is his best stuff. Big Fish. He did Ed Wood, right?
Ed Wood, I liked Ed Wood.
Ed Wood is good.
But I like Mars Attacks just because it was so
Oh, yeah.
appropriate.
I like that. That one's like
remember that
it
one.
feels very. That what is that pop something?
yeah,
I don't know what it is.
When did that come out?
Because
I
there's from the
was-
trading cards,
I was very
Mars
young when that
Attacks,
came
and
out.
Right.
it all feels like this is that universe. I guess it's just because the art direction
came
is
out-
really
I'm a fan
good.
of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for the same reason. It's just zany, and he does zany really well. Like, then he.
The new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I enjoyed
will
it.
defend that
I liked
movie.
it.
I know a lot of people hate it, but I thought it was great because obviously the original movie with Gene Wilder is a classic.
Oh, yeah, but it's two separate characters
but
completely.
It's not really the new one. The Tim Burton one is more faithful to the book. The
Yeah,
book
yeah.
is creepy and weird.
crazy.
Yeah, that's how I
And-
felt when I read it. Yeah.
And watching the new movie was
There's so
more
many,
like the
so many
book.
funny parts in the new movie. Like, it's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
the old one is great. Like, Gene Wilder's amazing, but
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the little things in that movie. I remember like one of the dads handing him a business card and he just takes it and throws it, and it's like this
Yeah.
really subtle like physical.
Yeah, they weren't
comedy.
trying to emulate what Gene Wilder did.
Yeah,
it was like
no.
completely going a different direction.
I would,
It was
I would
good,
say some
yeah.
of the visuals, I don't know why Tim Burton likes making everyone so pale, but like it would have been nice if they
It's
spent a little
his
time on
weird
that.
goth aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, because it makes sense that he'd be so pale because he's a shut-in and he's weird and creepy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it makes sense that they don't ever go into that because otherwise it would just be really creepy. And it's a kids movie, but
Yeah.
I like the things they added, like with what's his name? Christopher
Christopher
Lee.
Lee, yes.
Like,
He was at a good part.
That
Yeah.
Willy Wonka's whole outfit was basically a dentist's
Yeah.
uniform,
Yes.
and all these
The-
subtle things, like when they're like nervous and their rubber gloves
the
are like.
gloves, the sound
latex
design,
gloves,
they're
yeah.
always like squeaking.
Yeah.
It was so, and they didn't have to say anything, and I thought it was great because also Tim Burton he basically wrote that scene for his father, who he doesn't have a good relationship
Yeah.
with. And I don't know, I
And
liked it.
the Oompa Loompa songs were the ones from the book. The
Danny
lyrics
Elfman
from
did
the
a great
book.
job, like making them all.
I mean, if you
different.
like Danny Elfman, I don't really care for his music, but I did like that it was like the book.
it
I
kind
like
of
it.
fit,
whatever.
right? Like just
Yeah.
having all.
Oh, Munchery's coming. Sorry.
What's that?
I'm gonna have to answer the door.
I didn't get
soon.
Munchery.
Got food delivered.
It's not the first yet. Should keep my
I saw the new Tim Burton movie, The Peregrine's Children.
Oh, I
and
didn't see that.
No.
You know what? I surprisingly thought it wasn't so bad. Like, it has its moments where it just goes.
But is that because Dark Shadows was terrible?
No, I mean, I was going into ready to hate it, I guess. But it surprised me. But then after talking to Steve and like looking up on this on the actual book, I'm like, okay, so it wasn't that good. Like, the content that it was based on is really interesting. And if you're not going to read the book, I definitely see the movie. And there's some great design in it. But the acting is terrible for the lead actor's awful, while everyone else is pretty decent. Samuel L. Jackson's amazing in it. It's just, I don't know what the heck's wrong with Tim Burton. Like that was actually like a redemption movie for him. Like I thought, like, okay, see, like this is, you can actually make almost a decent film. It kind of falls apart here and there, but it was all right. Like,
I don't get it, because when you watch Big Fish and then you go watch some of his garbage movies, you're like, what
Yeah.
happened? And maybe it's because it's a different team, but...
I think it's because a movie is like not created by one person. It's
It's true.
a movie,
but
a film is just created by so many different elements and people.
I would just like to see him in his playground again. Like, if Frankenweenie wasn't too bad. Like, it was
Yeah.
very simple, but it was just whatever. Like,
The animated one?
I liked his.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really like cliche, but I really liked Edward Scissorhands. That was him, right?
it's really great too.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what it
It's
is,
like a
but like he
cult
has the capability
Yeah.
of like having those
classic.
kind of heartfelt moments. Like
Yeah.
Frankenweenie, like there's so many moments where I'm like, my dog, it's dead. I know what that feels like. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, watching that as a kid was
I just
hard.
don't understand. Like he has the ability to do that. But does he choose not to do it in his other movies? Like
I think it's just
I don't
because he's
know.
getting older.
he doesn't care. Maybe movies
I
are.
mean, there's a
just-
little bit of it in Dark Shadows, where you're like, yeah, like family... but
He has kids,
it's
right?
so forced.
It's weird because, like, Johnny Depp said the same thing about how he started making more kid-friendly movies when he started having kids, and it's like I feel like a lot of these filmmakers and actors, when they get older, their motives switch in what they want to make. They get more family-friendly, and it gets a little like they're not as good anymore.
I mean, that's kind of how it
Their
happens.
art
with-
isn't as good as anymore.
every time when you start hearing people's music who have wives and children, it just changes, and you're like, these songs aren't about freedom or whatever the heck they were. I don't know.
I honestly could
I'm not
care.
gonna name any artists.
I haven't seen Big Eyes, so I kind of want to see it just to see if there's a magic
yeah.
there that is not I'm not getting with his.
I heard that one was kind of like split 50-50. Good, bad reviews.
Like, piggybacking on Tim Burton, the new Alice in Wonderland movie, which I thought was going to be great because it wasn't Tim Burton.
Number 2.
Yeah, and it was directed by, I think, by the guy who did the Muppets movies, the new ones, which I thought were pretty great.
Yeah, those are pretty good movies.
It was so awful. Like the
I thought the
villain
first
was the
one was
best part of
awful,
it.
too.
Like he was, but it's just like it's not a story about a villain or heroes. It's about Alice just doing things she needs to stop.
Yeah.
If she did not interact and mess things up, then we wouldn't have a movie. It was all her fault. Like everything is just her fault, and time's just like.
That's my food.
So
Yeah.
time is just like basically holding his head through the whole movie, and it's like this poor guy, like it's just dumb bimbo messes up everything for no reason, and everyone's suffering because of her. And there was no lesson at the end except he's just like sagely nodding, like, well, I guess you learned your lesson. Thanks for messing up everything. That's what the movie was about, and it was horrible. And then it's like, oh look, there's a Cheshire Cat in the background while we're. I guess that's. Oh look, it's Hatter's family. I wish we could spend more time with them. They look kind of interesting. Nope, I guess we're done with that. Here's Johnny Depp in pale makeup for 30 minutes, looking sad. That's what the movie is.
I don't even see
To
it
its
now.
credit, the time designs, the time, all the sets and stuff were gorgeous. Like, I really loved.
Yeah.
I really loved Sacha Baron Carter's character. He was kind of mechanical.
I was
He had little
gonna
clockwork
say-
guys that would merge together and turn into bigger robots.
He was the
That was all
villain in
great.
that, right?
Yeah.
He's one of those weird actors where it's like, I think he's super talented and I love everything he does that's not his own stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was good in the Sweeney Todd movie. I
Yes,
know there's
I
other
liked it.
stuff. Les Mis. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like him in all the roles that aren't, like, his own stupid, like, I didn't...
He was good in
Borat,
Alice.
all his stuff. I don't care for his humor, but he's a really good performer
Yeah.
in other people's work. And I'm so sad that project he was trying to get made, the Freddie Mercury
Yeah,
biopic,
he would've been
never got
perfect.
made because he would have been great.
His voice
in
is
that role.
amazing. He looks like him.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But yeah, the first Alice movie just got a lot better after I watched that second one. It's like, well,
I didn't like that one either.
it was
I didn't like
it was a
that.
very problem-filled movie, and I was hoping that the sequel would take the best parts of it and just kind of accentuate it. I can't. It's worse than the first one. It's so worse.
How is that possible?
Oh my god! It's just.
Well, let's talk about some positive stuff. We've had a lot of negative.
But it's,
How about that
but I think
Cinderella movie
ranting
from a
is
couple-
fun.
I didn't see that.
Never
Speaking
saw
of my
that.
favorites, that was actually pretty good, and I
Not-
think it was
Didn't
kind
see
of
it.
brought in.
I'm not
it was-
interested in the new Beauty and the
It was
Beast.
so boring, but it was so just okay. This was an okay movie. This was good. This
Is
is a
it-
decent film.
Is it like shot for shot like the animated movie? Because that's what they're doing with Beauty and the Beast. Everyone says it's literally just them live action, shot for shot, doing the animated movie
I
with
think there is.
actors.
Pretty sure it was a
And I
musical. The
don't see
Cinderella
the
film.
point of that. I don't get I think...
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, like, why are they releasing Beauty and the Beast again?
Money.
It's because of nostalgia. People
Well,
are going to
there
like it
hasn't-
because of nostalgia.
There hasn't been a. It's basically it's basically a meshing of the stage show, which has
Okay.
additional musical numbers.
Yeah.
And they've taken some of those musical numbers and put it into special editions of Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
Weirdly. But
They
they're
did the
ba-
same thing with Lion King.
Yeah, they're basically doing the stage show, but in a
Okay.
movie. But in the stage show, the creatures, the little clocks and stuff that come to life, because on a stage show there's people. The people are slowly turning into the objects, which is kind of weird because it's like, well, wait, so what? Did they just start accelerating as when Belle comes into the picture? Because over the course of the show that you're watching, they grow like the Lumiere glow. His hands turn into candles, or the clock guy has a thing coming out of his back, and it keeps evolving as the show goes on. They're not doing that in the movie. They're making
Oh.
they're making them just little tiny objects.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a meshing between the two.
If you're going to make a remake of Beauty and the Beast, it's like, I wish Disney wasn't doing it because it's not a Disney story. It's an older story. Like, I don't want to see the Disney version again with Lumiere and all that stuff. Like, it'd be cool to see an adaptation of, like, the original fairy tale or something. I don't know.
Well, whatever. So it's gonna make a lot of money.
Beast
Yeah.
looks kind of cool. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
like
his
his
horns
design.
now and stuff, right?
He looks, I don't know.
He had horns in the animated movie.
I think.
Did he?
Yeah. You might have to watch it
It's
again.
time to Google the
It's been a while.
I think also it's good to remember that you get more bitter as you get older.
Yeah.
Well, I
definitely
tend to
get
enjoy
that.
life more, but I do feel like
A very
it's harder
bitter
to
person.
entertain
When
me.
you've seen everything, that you get bored. Like some of these stories, like if you experience it for the first time as a young adult or a kid, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
they'd be pretty okay movies because you don't have anything to compare it to. But we already have stuff to compare it to the older you get,
Yeah.
right?
it's hard not to get afflicted by that bitterness when you're
He
just
has horns.
tired.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they just look.
They're just-
no, I
different
just didn't
than,
really
like, in
notice
the-
that. Well, I don't
yeah.
have a picture. It's not like I go.
Well, and
I
it's
don't
like
watch
they're-
Disney movies
when
every
they're-
year. or
It's a
something.
cartoon. It kind of looks like ears. Like when I was a kid, I thought they were ears.
go.
Anyway.
That used to be
That
my
was
favorite
important.
Disney movie. I think Beauty
Yeah.
and the Beast and
What
Aladdin.
was mine? Probably The Lion King. I watched that a lot. I think that was the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
I like the Mr. Limpet or whatever. What's his name? Mr.
Oh yeah, The Incredible Mr. Limpet
Is that his name? Limpet?
with
The
Don
fish?
Knotts.
Yeah, Don Knotts.
That was a
Oh.
good one.
Just like as a kid, the live action cartoons that was cool for some reason.
Mary Poppins it's a really hilarious movie, mostly because of Dick Van Dyke.
Mary Poppins is like it's great when you're a kid for like the first half hour, and then they get to like the song about banking, and you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You
I
just
kind of
tune
liked
out.
it though. I don't know. I'm just.
There were parts where I felt like all the fun stuff's over, and now we're just dealing with money and.
Yeah.
I liked it, Van Dyke, but yeah, I mean it's a kind of a slow movie, and obviously it's when it came out, the author there's a whole movie about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Saving
it was much
Mr.
worse than what the
Banks.
movie shows. Like her
Wasn't
reaction.
good. Oh yeah, they like really sugarcoat it in Saving Mr. Banks, but that's still a good movie.
She was not happy with what they did.
I know it's not Disney. I don't think. No, it's Disney. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, that was
We're
a
on
weird
the subject-
mashup. A weird
On the
mashup.
topic of
Warner
mashups,
Brothers
that was
and
a-
Disney.
It'll never
like,
happen
That is-
again.
Yeah, that one.
how did they even do it?
Oh, that's a classic.
I remember reading about it a long time ago.
So good. And talk about nightmares.
They
when
had,
I was
like-
a kid, the villain at the end.
Oh,
what's
that
his
was
name?
like
Christopher
yeah,
Lloyd.
that was not for
That-
kids,
that
but it was
was
so
not
great
for
to see like
kids.
Mickey Mouse and all those. Basically,
So scary.
I think
I-
the way that they got it to happen, at least the contracts, is the Disney and Warner Brothers character had to share the same amount of screen time.
Yeah.
And like so, if
That's why
if Bugs Bunny had
that scene of
something, Mickey Mouse had to have the same amount.
that,
But,
yeah, like that scene of the
They had
two
to
of
treat them like
skydiving.
Warner Brothers was just
They're,
as big
like,
as Disney. Which
exact
wasn't,
same
but,
screen
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But it would never happen now.
They were going to greenlight a sequel. It never happened. Where I think it was going to be a flashback to World War II, and they reveal that Bugs Bunny is actually Roger Rabbit's father. They never did
No
that.
way.
That would have been nice
Oh
though.
my god.
Oh yeah. But no, those movies are a nightmare. Were a nightmare to work on apparently.
They
so.
did that with Wreck-It Ralph, kind of. They had all those game companies, all those characters inside that.
Yeah,
movie.
it's the same kind of thing. They.
Yeah.
Yep. And their whole thing was they were just happy that it worked out, but they had backups in case
Oh
the
yeah.
ones they wanted didn't work. But it seemed like they said everyone was pretty good, except there's a few times it was like where the game companies would be like how big is Mr. Robotnik? No, he's way bigger than that. And he's bigger, and they had to keep. And then eventually you'd have this scene where all the villains were giant in the room, and like what? And then so I remember reading stuff about that, and then they toned it down and everyone was happy because when you watch like all the villains talking and stuff, like
yeah.
you can kind of see like, okay, that one has more screen time. That one has.
I think that they should have had a sequel for that out by now.
Yeah.
That is like
I think they're working on it.
Yeah, I think it just caught them off guard, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like
They
Frozen
they probably
2,
thought it
like,
was gonna
they're
be.
They can't even push that one out fast enough.
God.
Which doesn't need a
Frozen
sequel,
2.
but they're gonna make one.
Yeah.
Talk about not needing a sequel.
Like it was okay when I first saw it because it wasn't like hyped, and then a minute when everyone started liking it for the reasons I didn't like it.
Frozen.
Yeah.
I hated Tangled.
But
and
now I
so
can't like it
never,
because, you know,
I
it's
never
like,
sought out Frozen, and I didn't watch it because they looked the same as the Tangled characters, and I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't like the art style. But the only thing I liked about it when I saw it before, it got big or whatever, but
Yeah.
was that it was the whole thing that it's like, oh, sister that's the sisterhood,
It's
that
like
kind of thing.
Brave, It's like you have a potential there for a really good story about sisters or a mother-daughter
But,
relationship, and then it's like.
But it's different. That's why I liked it. But everything
yeah.
else is obviously,
Yeah.
I don't like it the same reason other people don't like it.
It was all right.
What do I like? I
I
feel
li-
like
I-
I've complained about everything. But.
I like the girl being stupid and like falling for the first person. It's kind of like a message that's kind of long overdue,
Yeah.
but I'm glad they put that in there, and I'm glad that the true love was a sister's hug or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They
You know what
had
was a better
similar-
movie?
What?
Enchanted, the live action
Oh,
one.
That was a
pretty
good
cool.
movie.
That was like great.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And it also, she saved the guy, and it wasn't the prince
Yeah.
saving her. That kind of stuff.
I would
Yeah.
say like, not to spoil everything, but I out of all the three of the new CG Disney princess musicals, Moana is actually pretty good. Like there's action.
Is it a musical?
It's a musical, and they don't market it that way smartly, but
Yeah.
and honestly, like there's like one or two forgettable songs, but all of them are like really different, and I think the message in the movie is pretty decent, and also just because the visuals are like nothing else there's nothing
Yeah.
else like it. Like
I didn't even know it was out because I haven't seen much like marketing
I'm
for
surprised I don't think it's doing as well as like Frozen, which is sad because it's such a
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a cool movie. It's got The Rock in it, but
Kind of like Princess Frog, where it just went under the radar for a lot
yeah,
of
it's
people.
it
not.
for reasons.
There's no love interest
like-
in it. They even they even say like Dwayne Johnson even says like you're a princess. You have an animal, a funny animal sidekick, and and you're in charge of your people. I'm like, no, I'm a chiefess. I'm like, it's the same thing. So it's even like kind of self-aware.
Yeah.
And the visuals are really, really great. Like the CG artists or whatever like did a good job on it. The story's kind of bare, but
that same thing with Princess and the Frog. Like, I wish that movie had done better than it had, but I will admit it didn't have a very strong story.
yeah.
But it still deserved more recognition.
I really
than it
like
got.
Princess and the Frog. It's probably the last movie we'll ever see like that.
Of
with
2D, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's that whole paper. What was that short? The Paper Man.
Paperman.
What was it? Paper
like
something.
that.
It's 3D, but it's meant to look 2D. So it's like, well,
They have
we'll
a
get
new-
something that kind of looks 2D, but not really.
They have a new short in front of Moana. It was pretty good. It was about like how your organs talk to each other and stuff, and
But Moana's not Pixar. Moana's Disney.
It's Disney animation.
But there are Pixar people that working on it now, so. Or they're working at Disney Animation.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
it's
they
great
do
that
shorts.
it's great that we're getting films like this, but
Yeah.
it's almost like it's kind of just the best you can hope for. It's same with the Marvel stuff. It's like,
know.
oh, this is the best we can hope for. It's like, oh, good,
Yeah.
they snuck in this, and that's cool.
It's because everything's a big mass market moneymaker now.
Here's what they got to do with Frozen 2, and I've seen like Tumblr and stuff talk about this in the past. Frozen 2 should just be about Elsa finding like another princess, and they fall in love, and that should be what the movie's about, is having a lesbian relationship. And Disney should just
Well, they haven't
embrace
done
it
that
and
yet.
go all out with it.
You
and-
know they won't, though.
Like, if they should, do it. Sorry, now you're gonna cut that out. What time is it?
Yeah,
We started about an hour ago. It's going to be an hour and 6 minutes in.
hour and 6 minutes.
106.
Sorry. I was just very passionate about this.
You're the only one I've ever had to cut in Sam. That one time. Yeah. Oh well. What else can we talk about? Wait, we've only been talking for an hour?
Yeah. Well.
Not
I
that
mean,
we're
you don't
like
wanna
drawing a
force
blank,
it.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know.
yeah, not much has happened.
I just
we've been
all
so
the
busy.
things that I could talk about, I can't talk about
yeah,
on the stream.
projects. Stuff
Unfortunately.
Yeah, there's some good stuff going on behind scenes.
Like that. Yeah, I wish we could talk about it. No.
It's always the case.
We've
I just
been-
can't.
yeah,
I can't.
I know.
Well, we got a show coming up in December. If you're in the
Yes.
San Diego, California area, it's going to be in Bakersfield.
That's good.
I think I talked about this last time. It's going to be December 17th. That's a Saturday at 5 p.m. So it's a pretty early show. It's going to be at a Bakersfield University of something. Bakersfield.
University Bakersfield.
They have a theater there. We're basically
Doré
doing a show
Theater.
there. Doré Theater.
Yeah.
Check out www.steampoweredgiraffe.com if you're interested in seeing the robots.
Yeah.
We'll be there, Bakersfield, California. And that's the last show that we have for the year. And we have a San Diego show, but it's pending. We have not secured a date yet, but
We're hoping soon.
Keep an eye out.
so no promises until we actually are able to announce a date, but we will let everyone else.
No.
Yeah.
Finish your sentence. Yeah, it's kind of. Oh well, I mean.
I don't know. It's the end of the year. It's like we're winding down, getting ready for the holidays. Still have a lot to do.
I wish we
Busy,
could like
busy.
do more stuff with. Talk about some SPG stuff, but we're gonna have to wait until a little longer.
Is there anything that is talkable?
No, it's
about?
probably just best to steer away from it right
Yeah.
now until the new year and when everything
nothing.
comes together but
Yeah.
Yeah, let's. I guess we can end it early if you just want to. If we just want
I
to.
mean, it doesn't have to be
Let's
2
do
hours
some
long.
other improv thing. I don't know.
We
just,
could do another
I
improv
don't
and
know
we
if
can
I
take
could-
questions.
or
Well,
take
yeah.
questions.
We could do questions.
Something different than just talking.
Yeah, anyone watching the stream, you can ask questions in the chat on the Engineer-eteers site. I'll also check out Twitter.
Are you gonna pull these questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull some questions.
I saw some from the last few times, but I try to answer some people just like as the week goes on. I answer them directly. if I can.
Sometimes if you ask us questions during the week, we'll just respond to you on Twitter. You know, it's not a guarantee that we're gonna answer your question on the stream. I saw one a while back that looked kind of interesting. Well, yeah, this one's more for like, this is about the Walter workers. Someone asked, Tim Van Tassel asked 3 days ago, will the Walter workers play a larger role in the future music, possibly even solo songs? Do the Penyaks even want that? Well, we're not singers, we're dancers, so I would say it's not something we're actively seeking to do. But, you know, I did a little part in Soliton on Vice Quadrant, and if the opportunity calls for it in the future, I wouldn't mind doing some vocals, but I don't know about solo song.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be up to people's ambitions, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's basically not anyone's prerogative.
I don't have any training, formal or informal, and it's not something that I feel comfortable doing unless I practice more. But it's not on the horizon for me.
But if it was for any one of our members, I
Yeah.
definitely, if Steve wanted to do a song, we would totally be up
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
We're never going to shut someone down or anything. It's kind of a playground, so
Yeah,
anything is
and-
possible, but
And
it's up to people.
We're
But, yeah, everyone's
grateful
got-
for that. I mean, Camille and I have got the dancing. We've been able to do that because that's our strength.
But I think we've showcased all of the artists that we have on stage, on and off their talents. So
Yeah.
I think Steve might actually do a song one of these days. I mean, he has 2 characters, and it's not such a stretch that they would sing.
he's provided stuff for the albums
Yeah,
pretty
he's in the
much so
music.
far. So
Some of the music and stuff,
Question about drums on the albums. I don't know if that's interesting to answer.
yeah, if you want to ask.
Question: does Sam play drums for all current SBG studio tracks, or are they digitally made drum beats?
They're all sampled. They're not they're VST stuff. We do have some. I can't remember the last song we did actual drums on, but no, we don't. We haven't done live drums since. I mean, it's always for the last 2 or 3 albums they've been VST stuff. So sample based. They're not so
So
fake
what that means
stuff.
is they're actual recordings of drums.
But they're moved around. So the first time that we started doing that was MK3. We recorded all the drum hits separately, but then we moved them to posthumously to after the recording to change up the song, just because we didn't like how they were recorded,
Yeah.
and so we changed them, and then since then we just decided it's just so much easier to do sample-based stuff for an album.
Did you said you did at one point though, record someone playing drums live?
Yeah, and we did it, and because that was back when we first did album 1, we did every drum separate because we only had 1 microphone, and that's just limit of the technology we had available to us.
Yeah.
Didn't know no budget, and ever since then we've been making use of all the stuff. But yep, that's how
I've
the
got
drums
another
have been.
question for you guys from Roxy Hart. Did any of you pick up Pokemon Sun Moon?
Yeah, I picked up Sun, but I have not played it yet. I played maybe an hour of it.
Yeah, I picked up Moon, but I just now got to the first town where you're changing your clothes. So I mean, it looks good. It looks like an improvement. I like how fast it is.
Yeah, there's lots of
combat-wise.
improvements in
Yeah.
it. But the only thing I don't like about it is on Nintendo 3DS. It's really hard for me to pick up that system. I don't know why. I just don't like holding it.
It'll be the Switch will come out soon, and then
And then they're gonna have Pokemon Stars, apparently, Sun, Moon, and Stars.
Oh yeah.
and that's going to be the combination game.
Apparently, yeah. It's supposed to be. They did it in the past where they had a 3rd game, but
Yeah.
it's going to be the same
Right.
game but redone for the Switch.
And do your saves?
Yeah, they said it would transfer. So
that's cool.
because the Switch looks comfortable, but you know what? Just get a Pokemon game on this. But they're trying to sell DSs. I get it. I just don't like the DS. I hate holding it.
Yeah.
It's a square and I don't know.
It's all right. It's not my. I do like my phone.
I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm checking
No, that's
Twitter
fine.
and
That's
the
all right.
stream, just looking for some questions.
Sorry, don't have anything. I'm a little tired, but only because.
I think you guys have it harder. I haven't been on a show in 2 episodes, so.
I don't know. There's not too many questions yet.
Dead time.
Sorry.
La 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 la.
What
La,
do you
la,
think
la.
are each other's best qualities?
Oh, we're gonna give each other compliments.
I
Look
guess that's
awkward.
what people want to hear.
I really like.
It's I try and pick and choose, but right now there's 3 questions, so.
No, it's fine. I don't know. We don't always have to do questions. I was just.
Yeah.
We always have stuff to talk about, but
What do your robots think about while singing love songs? Do they have anyone special within the lore? That's a lore question.
What do they think about?
What do they think about when singing love songs?
It depends on what love song.
Yeah.
Well, I always like to think that, the robots they know that they're performing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's generally...
It's a stage act.
That's,
Even
I mean,
within the lore, right?
there's probably, that gets into some science fiction territory with some of those deep thoughts about what do robots dream of and shit.
Drag thing on Twitter asks if you could be any pizza topping, what would you be? Pineapple.
Can I be like the 4 cheese blend?
What?
What pizza topping are you most like?
Is that, someone asked that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what pizza
I thought it was
topping would you be?
just something we're
no,
making up.
that's
gotta
the
say
question.
something.
Pizza topping.
It's Slim
Wait, that's
Pickens.
not what we enjoy on a pizza, but just what we want to be.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what it says.
I don't want to be anything. I want to be a human. Can I be human topping?
Human topping.
Just
Like,
me on a pizza.
I basically have to ask every question because I'm not seeing much.
I can tell you a little, since I was on my cruise, I can tell you how much I hate cruises.
Yeah.
So cruises are terrible, and it's just like a lot of people being obnoxious constantly all around you.
See that?
I know you've been on a cruise, David, but I don't
But
know.
this
if
was
you've
years ago. This was
experienced
at least a good 10 years ago, maybe. So it was a different time for me back then.
Like it was confined, and when you realize how small the ship is, like you just realize you're just out here in the ocean, and you're surrounded by all these people who they're not gonna give you their best. They're there to relax, and it's just hard. It's just hard to get around without being pushed or shoved or just getting on people's nerves and stuff. And it's just like because everyone's there to relax, and it's just there's everyone just looking out for themselves, and it was so stressful and so awful.
I've never had. I don't think I would enjoy a cruise. I don't know.
I don't think I'd enjoy it now. I enjoyed it back in the day, but now that we travel a lot, we go to hotels a lot.
Yeah.
I already have that experience. Back then I didn't, so it was kind of magical.
That's what I was kind of thinking of. Like, I'm sure it's like amazing if you for these people
If
that
you
can't.
never do that.
I think traveling actually scratches that itch for me. I was bored on the ship. I was like, what am I gonna do? Go to the arcade again? Like, what can I possibly do here that's entertaining for me? Nothing.
You did it for a week, right? That's a long time.
I only did it for 4 days. So that
Went
was a
to
little better.
Montego Bay, Jamaica, and all the ports. I mean,
Did you stay on the boat, or did you actually go to the port?
various. We got off in Cosmo in Mexico. That was probably the best part. Just if you're thinking about like scenic, but it's not. I mean, Montego Bay is nice and all, and I got to pet a turtle and snorkel in a pool, not out in the ocean. But I mean, that was fun too. But
Is it like you when you get off in all these different countries, you gotta like have your passport and go through like a little process, or
no, they expedite it.
expedite it?
Yeah, they expedite it pretty well, but.
I was always curious about that because you go to so many places within a very short time.
It was cool. Like I remember, like I was doing using their exercise room, and then I went up on the track that circles the boat, and that was kind of a surreal experience. Like being in the port and looking around and seeing all these other docked ships, and then running. I mean, that was kind of cool, but I just didn't. Nothing amazed me. Nothing impressed me. Like I guess just these places are kind of pretty, but but quite honestly, all of them just reminded me of like Southern California with all the palm trees and stuff. And it wasn't like sandy beach with no architecture. It's like
And this was in the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yeah, we came out of Florida, which was
Obviously.
I have nothing good to say about Florida, unfortunately, either. Like I guess Miami's great. That's where I went, but
Not a place you'd return?
Fort Lauderdale, I mean, I guess, it's if you're going to go to Florida, it's a nice place, it's pretty impressive. They have the largest ship there in the world. I did not have fun, and I don't know. You can't say that to people because you're like, you went on a cruise and you didn't have fun.
but
I would love to go on a cruise. I'm like, I hated it. I hated every moment. I just wanted to be back at my computer.
Well, the thing is it still costed money, so there you go. So so
it still costed money.
yeah, that's right. So there you go. But no, the idea, like when I went, I got a really good deal. But like for me, it was an escape. But we travel a lot, and traveling it isn't fun for us. I mean, it can be, but it's a lot stressful.
It's fun at first.
It's, but then
I have
eventually,
that travel itch too, but it goes away very quickly when you're an introvert.
especially when you're doing
Yeah.
it for a job, it's
Yeah.
like you're not there to have fun, but it is fun. It's just I
Right,
don't know
like,
how
I
to
don't-
explain it.
Well,
I
you
do
know,
have more
people-
fun doing the work and stuff because I have something to do. Like, and
Yeah,
I was
and
so
people-
bored on the cruise.
I was pretty bored. I had to keep myself. I was only there 4 days though, and so it was a little. And it was in most it's like 3.5.
Yeah.
And I just hung out with. I knew some friends on there, and we just hung out every day. So it was kind of a way to. And I didn't hang out with them all the time, so it was kind of a way to catch up.
Yeah.
And to be fair, after those 3 days, it was kind of like, okay, I'm done hanging out with these people.
Yeah.
The person I was with was there to relax, and so we kind of met up during the evenings to have dinner and stuff with. But other than that, I was kind of on my own. It was just kind of, it was boring. It was quite boring, and I was like, I could be working right now. I could, and if I'm gonna have fun, like, it kind of taught me about myself a little bit. Like, if whatever, how do I say this? Like, I didn't need an adventure. I could have had fun at home or just taken a walk around the park or anything like that. It's not like nothing about it appealed to me. Like if I'm gonna if I'm gonna go on a vacation, I'd rather go to some remote location or something that's going to blow my mind rather than
Yeah.
this kind of touristy stuff.
Yeah, I don't
that's-
really like the touristy stuff either.
It was hard, and every activity that you had to that you could go to for entertainment was just copious amounts of that touristy butter just slapped on everything, and it was maddening. It was freaking maddening. So yeah, I had a horrible time. I needed a vacation after all that.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least I know I don't like cruises. I can't go on cruises
Yeah.
unless I'm going to like some like amazing location. Like,
I heard some of the ones up to
Alaska.
are nice. Because
might be
people are
fun.
like, why would that be? But because it's
I
different,
think
right?
I'd rather do an Alaskan cruise than a like
I would try an
going in the
Alaskan
opposite
cruise.
direction, like Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know, just because I live in San Diego, I like a change of scenery.
But to be fair, yeah, it would be pretty boring. Like how much times can you eat pizza at 3 a.m. Right? Was that an option? Because that's what I did.
there was eating times, and the food was very mediocre.
Really, they didn't have like pizza at all hours. They always had like one food place.
There was always a couple, but no, they had room service 24 hours, so you could get like a BLT delivered, and it was free, included with but it was just a BLT. So.
Isn't like all the food services on cruises free? You don't
Did they
charge
have
for
like
any of it?
chocolate sushi day? Because I had
Yeah,
that
yeah, pretty
chocolate
much.
sushi day. Did they have that?
They
for
had
you?
some stuff like that, but all of it was mediocre. Like
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was just you had a lot of it. You could eat.
The
for
best
all day.
food was in, I think it's Cosmol. I'm so terrible at it, but we went off, went to got to the port, went to a restaurant and had like fresh sour cream and guacamole, and I had like a chimichanga, and it tasted amazing because it's what I'm used to. Like it tasted like something you get in Southern California, but
Yeah.
after eating all the same bland cruise ship food, having something that was real and greasy and fresh avocados and all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
So good.
sounds good.
Then I promptly went back on the ship. I was like, done. I got what I wanted.
Yeah, there's not much to do there. Ours didn't even have an arcade, so
The arcade was expensive too, but I won a lot of stuff from it just because I had a lot of time. And I played the Batmobile game, and I beat Mr. Freeze, almost beat the Joker, but... Yeah, no, it's terrible. Gosh, what a waste of time. What a waste of time.
Gosh.
The only thing, it taught me the kind of person I am. It was very educational.
Yeah.
Like what I need to do to have fun and what I need to do.
I went
Builds character.
After my cruise, I wasn't
Yeah.
like, I
That's
can't
what
wait
they
to go
say.
back. It wasn't for me
Yeah.
either, but I did enjoy it as an experience because it was one. But based on us flying and going to different hotels, like it's not nothing's glamorous. We're just staying at like
I
normal
had more
hotels.
fun
but,
going to Detroit than
Yeah.
I did on this cruise,
No,
which
yeah.
is why.
But
I
because
don't-
the convention's also
yeah, because
fun.
the convention's
Yeah.
amazing. Like that's the stuff I like is like nerd stuff
Yeah.
and being in this awesome hotel and
You're
traveling
surrounded
with my
by
friends
people for
and
people.
family.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
And performing, doing something I love.
Yeah. So, but we like that.
right.
Everyone
And-
always asks me like, "Oh, did you get to sightsee? Did you do anything else while you were here?" And you're like,
People ask
"I'm
that all the time.
working."
Like, what? No, we're working.
I honestly
Yeah.
wouldn't
I don't give
want
a- I
to
don't-
anyways, right?
I don't give a shit.
I think they just. I think
I don't
people
give a
like
shit about your city.
I think people
Like,
don't understand what these like trips
I
entail.
did see a
You're
little bit more of
working the
Chicago the
entire
second time I
you're
visited,
there.
but when I saw it, it was like when other people have gone with us. Like I know Matt Smith, our drummer, when he went to the places, he would like request like hours off, and we'd be like, okay, we'll work it
Yeah.
into your schedule, which was fine because he only had to show up for the shows.
Sure.
He didn't have to do the panels and stuff. But even he would like, how much time do you have in a weekend? He would go to all the places, do a selfie next to the Silver Bean or whatever in Chicago, and then go to the next place. And it was kind of like, is that fun? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that.
None of it appealed to me. I mean, I've seen we've traveled to some pretty places, and like
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
appreciated like the architecture and stuff to see, and you get kind of a taste of the history of talking to the locals, but I could care less. Take me to a good restaurant, I guess, in your city, so I
Yeah.
can try the local cuisine. That's all I care about.
But we don't even have
like-
time for that stuff.
I don't care
I think
that
the only
much.
time we had
Yeah, I don't really care either. That's probably
the only trip I can recall that we had some extra time to like sightsee was our first year in Canada. Our first day, we didn't have anything scheduled, and they took us to see Niagara Falls.
Canada was nice, and I would say that like the UK too, because it's like a
But that was like a special treat. We never
Right.
get time.
even the
to
second
do
year we
that.
went, we were like, "Are you guys want to go see the falls again?" No.
Yeah, we saw them.
We saw them. We'll just.
I still had a good time, and the little touristy
we went
town
to
was
an
really
Irish
nice.
pub
Yeah.
Good
instead.
food.
It was, yeah.
But most of the time, I have no. Basically, from traveling, I never have the wanderlust of I gotta get out and see the world. Like it'd be cool to go see Japan and stuff, but only for Steam Powered Giraffe. Like there'd be what would I
have a
do out
little
there?
bit.
Not much.
I would probably still get that wanderlust, that itch, that travel bug, even if I wasn't in Steam Powered Giraffe. But I still wouldn't want to stay very long. The amount of time we stay on trips in another city is more than
I
enough
hate to
for
say
me.
it, but is it because San Diego's?
better than
Maybe.
everywhere.
I'm not gonna say it's the best
We
city
travel
ever.
a lot. We travel a lot, and it's for our job, so
No,
that's kind
I
of
think
a perk.
that's fair.
So if you
Yeah.
don't travel a lot, that itch, like when you actually finally get to do it, it feels so good. Like
Yeah.
just getting into a new place, but we do it so often. Like
Not that we're taking advantage. Because here's the thing. I mean, even when you're traveling or having a good time, on hindsight, you realize how crappy traveling is. It's just that when you're in it, it's like it's something new and challenging. And
Yeah.
Right,
but when
so
you do it for a
kinda-
job and you're like, then that's when it's like, oh boy, I love being on the airplane for an hour and a half on the runway because we can't, can't. There's a plane in the way, or like being rerouted. Like none of that is fun. It all
Yeah.
sucks.
but to be honest, I like the experience. Like
Yeah.
it keeps me kind of sane, and it actually has kept. I realize it's kind of making me happy to just travel for business, and it kind of satiates me a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah, no, I
it-
mean, I
it
get,
does.
even though I hike and stuff all the time, I do feel it breaks up the monotony of, because here in my apartment, I do everything from here, so I eat, sleep, and work here. So hiking is how I break that mold, but when I travel, it's like, I don't know, it's so
need
good
the
to get away,
I
but then
need
it's like,
the
I can't wait to get
travel.
back by the end of the weekend.
I need to travel. I love the trips. I always look forward to them. But
Mm.
then it's nice to come back home.
By the end of a weekend when you're tired, you're like, I just want my bed now,
Yeah.
because I don't like this airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
well, we were itching. I think we talked about it on a previous podcast. We were itching to go somewhere. We were so excited about
And then
Detroit.
Yellowstone.
I was
Yeah.
really excited to go to Detroit.
And we're going to Bakersfield, but that's only like a day.
It's like
Or
a
It's
day
two.
not
trip.
the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
The cons are, at least for me and Camille, we really look forward to the cons because we have a schedule of like, there's days where we're not in costume, but we're still working, and it feels good to be doing something.
Plus, yeah, and you get to interact with the fans, and you get to do a show. And
Yeah, we get to on the days, like at convention weekends, on the days we're not in costume, but me and Camille are running the table, we get a lot of time to talk to fans. And even though the single day shows like Bakersfield are fun, you don't get the time to talk to people.
Yeah.
So we enjoy both, obviously. It's really great, like doing a single show in a theater, but the conventions are really fun for me and Camille especially because of that interaction we get. And it's more stretched out. It's not as stressful.
I had a good time in Detroit. It was a fun show, and good weekend, good fans.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
good. I liked all of it. The next one we're traveling to is Everett, so that's in February.
Yeah.
Probably staying at the same hotel we did, which is nice on the docks. And
They bake cookies for you.
There's coffee. And I think we've
Really
As soon as
simple.
I get to the lobby, make a beeline for the
I mean, it's
cookies.
just a hotel. It's not anything amazing, but it
I
doesn't take much.
actually like Seattle. Like
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pretty areas in it.
Yeah.
But
Everett's enough far from the city. It feels not Seattle-y.
Yeah, so what is it, like a 40-minute drive? Something like that.
But yeah, so we got that coming up. That's some travel. And we're definitely doing Chicago again.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
July
and
2017.
We already have that one planned. Sometimes people book us far in advance. Sometimes they book us a month before an event.
You just never know. Well, got some more questions.
let's do questions.
Who's your favorite villain? I picked that one because I can say my favorite villain, if you could say, yeah, he's a villain, Benjamin Linus from Lost, is like one of the best characters I've
But
seen
is
on
he a
TV.
villain? Yeah, I guess he's a villain.
He's my favorite type of villain. He's not just an outright evil guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much complexity to the character development, and he has a really great arc. And I mean, Lost has been over long enough that anyone who hasn't seen it, he ends up.
Yep, here's spoilers.
You know, like he's not just like an evil.
You're not gonna
guy
watch
to
2.5 months of video content? That's a long. Literally, that's how much video there is.
Benjamin Linus is one of
forever.
the best developed characters I've seen on TV.
It was pretty good.
Amazing
I
arc.
wouldn't
He
watch it
doesn't
again. It
end
was
up
exhausting, but
as a bad guy. But yes, I would say he's my favorite villain.
I can't think.
Off the top of my head, I would say Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal was pretty great. And
Yes.
Silence of the Lambs.
It's pretty good.
I would say that too.
I like that one. I want to say Gary Oldman as Zurg in Fifth Element. Just
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty good,
yeah.
too. I mean, I'll disagree with that. Yeah, that's good too.
I'm so excited for his new movie. 'cause
Is that
I'm
the
just
one?
hopeful.
I can't remember
what it's called.
I know the name's not very
I
memorable.
saw the trailer and I was like, ah.
It's like this is Fifth Element again.
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element too.
He's a great director. He's done some cool stuff. So, but he's actually, I mean, he did Lucy, which was all right, but it was still at least, it was at least fun, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I like the concept. It felt like they made the movie just to basically, like, what if this happened? And then
No,
they
it's
turned into
not
a
true.
movie.
None of it's true. You don't use just 10% of your brain.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
Here, let me see. What are some alternate ideas of characters you almost became, or maybe like all characters that never really saw the light of day? Any that you have? I don't know.
Next question.
Wait, I got.
I don't know what
I
that-
got
I
one.
don't know
I
what
mean,
that
I guess
means.
there's some that are in the pipeline for me, but I'll say an alternate for Rabbit. When we were talking about changing her gender to match, me. I was gonna create a new character, and this was before I came up with the name Isabella for myself, but I really liked the name, and I made up this new robot called Isobella. Get it? Like Isobella, which is kind of stupid, but
No.
you don't get it? ISO? ISO Bella? Isobella?
That
Like
question
Apple
came
OS?
from, that was from Twitter.
Well, anyways.
But that's just that. Is that really a different character? that seems like a name.
Part of me, that was if we had gone with
actually,
a
I think
different character.
that's what their question was. What were some alternate ideas of characters?
I was the only one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
I don't know.
She was definitely going to do the more, and before I fused Rabbit with it, like, it was going to be more like a punk robot, but we shot that down in discussion. I just had that idea, and but whatever.
Well, as far as like spine and stuff, it was built upon very simple street performing, so
Yeah.
it's not like I was like, well, maybe I'll try this. Like, never really strayed too far. It just grew. So there's always thought. I don't think the way we created any of the characters was like, I'm gonna try this one day. That didn't work. It's more like it's more of a natural. You feel things out. So there was no like. Yeah, well, I used to have the spine. He was called Spino, and he was way different. But
There's other
no.
characters in
I
our
know.
universe, and
Yeah.
We have characters, but are we talking about on stage? Because pretty much it's been planned and then evolved on, I guess. I don't know. I'm just questioning the question.
there's another one. There's one that's hidden in the Malfunction video. Mallory, she's the girl of QWERTY.
But see, that one saw the light of day. It's
It
still
did, like-
technically there.
Yeah, maybe we'll do more with her one day.
I don't know if you guys want lore questions because
Sure.
people
I
love
mean,
the lore
whatever.
questions.
Maybe if we can
This
answer
one,
them.
actually, this
answer
one
them.
I'm curious about too because I have no idea who they're talking about. Bitzer Kludge asks, "Can we have more details about Iris Tonya?"
One of
I don't even know who that is.
There's so many Peter Walters. Unfortunately, I'm not I don't know have an
Let's look at the
encyclopedia.
website.
But yes, it's I think it was the maid that married one of the Peters.
Oh, that's
I
it.
mean,
You want more backstory, but
unfortunately,
I think
we'd have to have an arc that went back in that time, and I don't know if we're gonna do that.
Not saying you guys don't have backstory for some of these
Well,
characters,
some
but
of
I
it is-
definitely
is
think
set up
people
to be-
latch on to names and timelines that don't have any backstory.
well, it's there if we ever needed to,
Yeah.
but it's there to serve the purpose of how did we get from point A to point B, not
Yeah.
how did this. They're not like they're filler in the sense that in the sense that something happened there, but most of it's like a playground. We were able to. None of it's. We don't have to use any of this on stage.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I think the names are. I can't remember all of them, but I'm pretty sure if it is who I think it is, then you get to see her sons. I think in one of the comic pages that I'm working on. So I mean, there's like you can see fragments of it, but. Is that the person that Peter Walter the First married?
I'm gonna say I don't have it on my top of my head.
I'm not
either.
really sure. Unfortunately, I'm
It
sorry.
never comes up.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It was thought about at one point or another.
Well,
and
unfortunately, the names just mean nothing to me. Like you give someone a name and it's
yeah.
I mean,
like
I
how
do that
it was
too.
decided on
I,
it at one
write,
point.
and I create names all the time that don't have any.
Yeah, I mean, I can see
story
I
to
can
them.
kind of see the faces of these people that
Yeah.
haven't seen the light of day, but I don't really.
But
know.
we haven't spent much time with them, so
Right.
That's
why
what you
would
do
we?
when everyone's named Peter Walter.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do?
That was kind of the ongoing joke, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it's so confusing.
Like not all characters have detailed backstories. Some are just NPCs. I guess that's a good way to put it.
Right, but
But
yeah, I'm
they
glad
have-
to see
Until a
like
certain point.
They have backstories. It's just that we're not
Sorry, I keep
elaborating
hitting
on
my
it.
mic.
if it becomes relevant, definitely we'll explore it. Like, you know, there's definitely a lot of storylines we like to.
But you're right. I mean, it's the
dabble.
robots.
Yeah.
We don't have a medium to even showcase these characters.
Right, that's unfortunate if it's not in the comics, if it's not in a short story, which I don't know if we're gonna. None of us are like prolific writers, so I don't. Think
It's
we're
better
gonna-
than us saying, like, if someone delve into it and then it was like, well, then who's the mother of this person? That's why these characters exist, because
Yeah.
Right.
because
You need a
if they're gonna have a
name for that
lineage or they're gonna have
link.
or they have something to do with the
Right.
story. Sure, they have their own story, but we did not
when
think about
Yeah.
it.
when we actually we thought about it in the extent of when we were sitting down and piecing it all together. We kind of went through the timeline once or twice and kind of had these moments in our head that kind of coincided with some of the events that you read about in the on the timeline on the website. So that we could probably like trace it in our mind, figure out where it is, and then say, oh yeah, this is when this happened, and so
But
this character might have done this.
But there's no like story. We're not writing a novel.
right. It's
We're-
just just some imaginings in our head that kind of propel these characters from point A to point B
Exactly.
Yeah.
in the timeline.
Sure.
So
yeah.
far. But I'm sure like I'm pretty sure like
So to answer your question, no, you can't hear me.
I want to say that if that's the maid, definitely probably helped Peter Walter out of a depression. I'm pretty sure that was the intention, is that they became friends, even though she was the servant, like, and you know she got him out of his manic craziness, probably,
Yeah.
so he could come back to reality, and you know all the Peters are kind of suffer from working with the crazy Kazoo Land energies and stuff. So that's all I can say.
Yeah. Let's see. Who played keys and organ in the SteamWorld Heist recording of Brass Goggles?
I mean,
Is that Sam?
the key for which one? Brass Goggles?
Yeah, it's the SteamWorld Heist version of Brass Goggles.
If it's not, it's see, on an album, like if I play two notes and then I record that and then I play the next two notes, so I played it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're constructing. When you look at our tracks, like
It's constructed.
oh yeah, a lot of it for the live stuff, you want it to sound a certain way. So it's none of us play the song live that way.
Mm-hmm.
We play the song live differently because there's only 3 people on stage. So with an album, we're able to make extra people playing it. But for something like that, we're not recording a real piano. We don't have a room for a piano and stuff. Like we didn't go to and record a piano. Like it's all done with samples-based stuff because
You composed that version though.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know but Sam and I both kind of
Yeah, you kind of
went in together. But
Right.
I mean, yeah, a lot of it was me. But there are parts where you know I asked Sam to come in and like, hey, can you add something to this? Or someone will have an idea and say, here's the basic of it. Because for Brass Goggles and Steam World Heist, we already knew the song. We already had some of it. So we took some of the stuff that, you know, Mike did with his noodling, and then we refined it to, you know, just because it was our own take on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess they said that's all I wanted to know, who constructed it.
Okay.
So
But
the original for the original album one, we didn't have all these VST instruments. We didn't have a lot of capabilities. We actually used a modified piano of Mike's, I think, for the signature sound.
yeah, tack
which
piano.
not a lot of people like that sound.
Which is weird. No one likes the first version of Brass Goggles.
They don't, but it's actually
I
the
like
most. It's the most authentic in terms of like the instruments used.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but I think it's just because we didn't record it very well. The levels.
No,
are all
I mean-
I like it because it sounds very just like you're in a cabaret or something.
Well,
There's
I don't
that's an
know.
actual like tack piano
Tack,
that
yeah, it's just- yeah.
Michael Reed modified, and we thought it would be amazing. We recorded it in a garage.
I mean, you can say that's more ambitious, but I mean, yeah, it was. But I'd never want to go back and do that kind of stuff again.
we could replicate.
I mean,
the
we do record real instruments all the time.
Yeah.
It's just. Is there a reason to go back and do all this lo-fi crap again? Not for me, anyways. I think it sounds like garbage.
If it
but
was,
that's just me.
if it was meaningful to the artist, then yes.
But it's
if
not meaningful to
no,
me.
so-
Yeah. So if anyone says that, oh, but it sounded so much better, I'm like, then enjoy that album because I hated it.
Nobody likes that version. Nobody
maybe-
wants to buy that one. They always want the live version because it was
Yeah.
much better. And the live version uses a digital piano, and even
I don't think I've
more
ever
digital
heard
sounding
the-
piano than what you hear on the newest
Oh
version.
yeah,
live.
yeah. The
Yeah.
live. What? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I don't think I've ever heard that one from the first
We,
live album.
there's
Yeah,
two.
it's-
There's a
everyone's
few live
popular.
albums,
I've never heard that
and then there's
one.
another one from Walter Robotics Expo.
Right.
But yeah, to be fair, I mean, that's just it's an opinion after a certain. If you're a musician, maybe you'll appreciate it because it was recorded a certain way.
Right.
But just knowing because something was recorded a certain way just makes you like it better. I think that's stupid. I'm listening for a sound. Like yes, it's like, oh, this wasn't recorded, on a real grand piano, like in a. Which is what we did for like a lot of the songs in album one because we were like, okay, we're gonna sneak into the college and we're not part of the music team, but we'll just ask one of the students when they get out, can we use the grand piano for a second? And they're like, oh, okay, we'll leave the door open. Like, and then teachers come in like halfway through, and we're like, you're not supposed to be in here, and we're like, we're already done recording. That's happened, yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of that. It was kind of I think the quaintness is what is attractive to people now. That seeing how far we've come and where we started.
Yeah.
Back then, it was less impressive to people.
But this is the difference: is it took us like a year and a half to get that damn album done, compared to now where we can actually do it in a year.
But some people might argue that the authenticity is lost or something. But and maybe there is some truth to that. But
yeah, sure.
I wish. But I guess it's what you want to accomplish. And if we wanted to create like a very simple, maybe we would just set up a microphone with a real piano.
Well, technically
if
we did.
wanted
We
that.
did when we did on Steam World Heist. We had the redone version of AH. Like that's just literally Sam on guitar.
Oh, you're right. So,
Messing
I mean,
around, and then there's hardly any other instruments. We put a little bit of like strings in the background, but like I feel like that's like a good example of like doing the minimalist stuff, but using modern day technology. Because the only thing different from that recording that guitar to the stuff in album one is a microphone. The microphone was super cheap in album one, and now we have a more expensive microphone.
This has nothing to do with the question. Obviously, we
Does
kinda,
it?
We kind of went off
on our own.
But
our own
it's a thing of that's it's kind of a point of contention, I think, with some of the people we worked with and stuff who were against using some of the digital things in it, and they wanted to take the time to go back and do all this, it's just I don't think it changes too much. I think it's all about how skillfully you can weave it together to make it sound.
Yeah, I like a clean
Authentic.
sound.
If we had
a lo-fi sound sounds like garbage to me.
if we had all
they
the
really
equipment,
enjoy the discussion. They really enjoy these
That's
answers.
good.
But to be
Glad.
fair, that's we have an album that I think sounds like garbage, and then that was album one. 2 Cent Shows gets a little better. MK3 gets a little better. But I'm gonna have to say, I'll just say, out of just maybe, and unfortunately, if you liked how it sounded before, then that was the combination of me. But I mixed album one too, so you know what I mean. Like I was working with what we had, and when we got more stuff, I used that.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why it's so. It's the same stuff, but you'd have to if you want me to. Not that anyone's asking, but if we had to recreate album one again, you'd have to take away all of our toys. You have to
Right.
take away. We'd have to start recording in a we can say shittier, yeah. In a shittier
Right.
file format. We'd have to be using garbage microphones.
I think that's nostalgia for people. You
Right,
know,
nostalgia
people
is
wanna
is
say,
our worst
"Yeah, but
enemy."
once
Like,
it
it's
sounds
everyone's
better."
worst
But it's like,
enemy.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't.
The past is
That's
always
just
gonna be
because
better than what you're doing
it
now.
reminds you of the past.
But to be fair, like I'm for me personally, my favorite ones are Steam World Heist, Vice Quadrant, and Quintessential. Where as far as sound quality goes, it sounds very clean to me, and I don't think it sounds. Yes, some songs sound overly processed to get that pop sound, but some of the more acoustic ones, like there was lot of work to make them sound
Yeah.
like, wow, this sounds
Well,
acoustic.
I'm not
but
saying any of them sound bad or anything, but for some reason, SteamWorld Heist especially just sounds so good.
Well,
when I've-
to be fair, six of those songs are older songs that we had to
but
try
just,
something
like, the
new
sound
with.
quality, I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
the mixing, it just.
And then
it's
we went
really-
from that into Vice Quadrant, and the only thing that is different with Vice Quadrant is that there's less acoustic instruments in some of the songs, and a lot of the songs are just synthesizers.
Vice Quadrant, there's a lot of rough songs in there too, like just.
Sure, but there's also a numerous amount of
Right.
songs, so I don't know if we could probably flesh those out if we had more time. We're not going to, but but quintessential, I feel like that's like, here's what we did on SteamWorld Heist, but all new songs. I think, sort of.
Quintessentials sounds really great. Like it's definitely it sounds like coming off of Vice Quadrant, where it's almost like a concept album, where some songs are not as finished as others.
Well,
and
I think a lot of that has to do with synthesizers. You're hearing the same kind of instruments for every single song.
That's true,
But not all the time.
it feels nice and condensed. It's like it's still a meaty album, but it's very it feels nice. It feels very, I don't want to say engineered, but very complete, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vice Quadrant is kind of us just going
Yeah.
balls out everywhere and, just
and
having
trying to
fun
trying to wrangle it in.
I mean that's
Which I'm happy we did Vice Quadrant, but to do that again, we would never do it again. We would try something else. But
Right.
Yeah.
but just having it done, it feels a weight off the chest. because
I
it was-
enjoyed the freedom that we had.
Yeah.
I liked that we could have brought anything to the table and it wasn't, and it wasn't turned away.
It was kind of that's how that I felt. I was like at one point we just reached the thing is like, we're not gonna have any stipulations on here. It was just like, yeah, it was kind of hard to get them all the songs finished for that whatever that release date is. We probably could have used a few extra weeks, but we finished and gave ourselves enough time for production, and it worked out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was why it was freeing, because it was like, we're just gonna do it. So every album so far for us has been a different step. None of them have been too similar, except for maybe no, they've all been a little different.
It'd be cool to recapture, or at least to keep that idea of Vice Quadrant going without the numerous amounts of songs. Like,
Yeah.
even though it was stressful, it felt like the most fun I've had with an album in a long time, just because I was able to play around with so many different ideas, and nothing had to be perfect. It was just create, like whatever your imagination, whatever helps
And we
the
had
story.
a nice convoluted story that you and I
Right.
like wrangled in to fit with all the
We-
songs.
We picked the songs that, okay, this one, I want this one in because it helps this, or this
Yeah.
one tells this story, and it was fun. And quintessential, I think, it was that album was kind of already written before Vice
Before
Quadrant was
Vice Quadrant,
done.
yeah.
Like, we already knew what songs were going to be in it. It was just kind of going to the table and
Sure.
fleshing them out. But
Well, it would be nice. Yeah, the only thing that I would love to revisit on future albums is maybe what people, for quote unquote nostalgia. Not that there's people that are I mean, people like the music or they don't. Whatever. But for us, like, I thoroughly enjoy what we're making. It's fun for us. But it would be nice to kind of revisit. It's the kind of the songs that like are like Clockwork or something, like maybe just the idea that the robots are old. That because right now we've been playing with a lot of like, what if the robots made a song like this? What if they made a song like this? And we always put acoustic songs in the album. So if you listen to just the acoustic songs, I feel like it's always there, that sound of like, here's an acoustic guitar and here's a stand-up bass kind of sound, and very minimal instruments. But like, since you get a whole album that is full of like pop songs or more rocking songs, like, it kind of diffuses everything. Whereas album one, we had electricity, but the recording stuff was so crap back then that even the stuff where we use synthesizers sounded pretty lo-fi.
Yeah.
So now there's a bigger gap in between.
I would say maybe just
All
some.
that.
I mean, we give a lot of variety in our albums, especially even in album one. There's a lot of variety, I think, but especially now, like we can engineer these sounds that sound so specific. Like here's this Bowie sounding song, or here's this jazzy song. I don't know what we do, but like, so maybe some what's the word? Cohesion. It would be nice, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Like,
I mean, our best-selling album is actually just one song, and it's Honeybee. So it's really all the albums, not if we don't count Honeybee, sell pretty much the same. Like, it would be, which is like, people are hearing songs and liking them and buying them, not just like our first initial sales. So they all sell pretty much the same, but people really love Honeybee, and that's an album too. So that kind of inflates the digital sales a lot.
Yeah.
But as far as like physical go, people are buying the CDs because of Honeybee too. But now
They
Honeybee's
are.
on so many albums.
I see this physical CD sales every month, and 2 Cent Show is still up there.
Yeah, because
I think
Honeybee.
Just because of Honeybee.
I mean, I can see it on the digital
Like,
sales. Like people just buy
it's
Honeybee,
always,
just
like,
buy it all.
It's always the most recent album and Honeybee, and 2 Cent Show. The most recent album and 2 Cent Show are always the top selling.
You can't diss Honeybee.
We're not gonna get
We've
away
written a
from
lot
it.
of other Honeybees too. It's just I don't know what captures the magic. Of
Well, I
Honeybee.
mean, it's just like any. That's
Honeybee.
like any band. Like, oh, here's our. But it's not like we were a one-hit wonder. If it was a one-hit wonder, that'd be one thing. But it's not like we skyrocketed to the top because of Honeybee. It's just that we had.
We didn't have Honeybee for album 1 at all.
Yeah,
like,
no.
We had.
It's just that when people think of Steam Powered Giraffe, they're like, oh, I know you from Honeybee, but that's so.
But people used
yeah.
to know us from Captain Albert Alexander, or
just on a smaller
or
scale,
On Top of
yeah.
the Universe preceded Honeybee. That one was popular before.
Yeah.
I think it's just the video. It's the video that.
Yeah,
that sold it.
I mean,
the
it's a
video,
YouTube.
The video like just sold
We
the
don't. We
act
don't
to-
exist.
to people.
We don't exist other than the Honeybee video to a lot of people who like us. So, but that's just because who is going to go from Honeybee to watch Overdrive? No one. You know what I mean? Like, it's too far.
The only thing I would just be happy if we never tried to imitate Honeybee. Like, I'm always gonna.
I don't want
I'm always
to,
gonna try.
yeah.
I'm always gonna make Honeybee type songs because that's just what I write. But I think the best thing we can do is just not engineer anything to sound like.
No.
I don't ever want to make a 2 Cent Show again.
It'd be cool if we just fell upon a song that isn't like Honeybee but had the same reception as Honeybee.
I don't know. I think.
But that's like, you know, like, oh, Daft Punk has all these memorable songs, and then they come out with Feel Lucky or whatever that one is. And I'm like, oh wow, Daft Punk's on top again. I'm like, you mean their one song that you really liked?
I mean,
Like the Tron album was really good too.
I like
but,
that album.
But you know,
The
when you
new
think
album
about
was pretty
popularity where everyone's like, oh, this is great. It's like, that's one song off of all the albums they came out with in the last.
Well, we have a lot of.
But
albums
that kind of
already.
sucks. But it is what it is. But I am liking all of it. I know our fans like our stuff too. Like
Whereas
most
some
of them.
people might prefer like a lo-fi kind of homegrown sound or whatever you want to call it. I mean, ours is pretty homegrown, but I'm just saying, like, if people prefer album 1, like, if there's an integrity in that with the artist, that's great and all. I would say the integrity for me that's important is that we just do what we want.
Yeah.
Like, that's more important than anything. Like, I would not want to sacrifice that. As soon as I start getting thoughts of, ooh, I want to might make this harmony so it sounds like Brass Goggles, that's when I just like, nope, turn it down, throw away the song, because it's like I want to be in a place where I'm writing and composing, you know, from the heart, which sounds cheesy and stupid, but why do we want to engineer music?
Yeah, we
That's not
wouldn't
fun.
be very good at in the world of writing jingles for people or coming up with songs for a movie or something. Like, we've obviously had a lot of free reign with Image and Form, but working with Image and Form and Gearbox, like, that was kind of our taste of the corporate world. But to be fair, Image and Form was indie developers, like, we're an independent band, and it was pretty easy to work with them. But at the same time, like, there's still that, oh, you're trying to get something to match their product.
But, you know, I say that, but actually, I guess some subtext. It's like we do kind of engineer a sound for whatever decade or style that we're going for.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to engineer the creative process and you know what we actually want to do. Like I love that we spend time trying to make this sound like the 30s or 50s.
Yeah.
It's fun,
Yeah.
but I don't want to.
There's
I don't
stuff
want to
going in
remake
that.
Honeybee again.
No, it's done. Like, we'll just make stuff. If as long as we have this amount of fans we have now, we'll be good for a while.
We'll see what the next album brings.
Yeah. There'll be lots of new stuff. And I don't know, and people want totally different things. Like, some people just want to hear more Vice Quadrant, but there's not going to be a Vice Quadrant Part 3, you know, or Vice Quadrant 2
Maybe when
Part
we're in
1.
our 50s or 40s. And
But like, to continue the story, we would love to. I think some of that lore will probably feed into future albums.
Yeah.
That's what you can hope for. More space stuff would be pretty tough to go back to right now because we put so much into the first one. It's not that we couldn't come up with ideas. It's just we kind of. Well, I know personally, I'll probably go back to space because it's really cool, but. It's not like we're playing many of these songs live anyways.
If we're gonna do Vice Quadrant 3, I'd want to. I think, like, I don't know how, but more cohesion, more story.
We have to wait
make
till
the story a little less convoluted and more. I don't know. It's good. I mean, but.
But I don't know. I don't
Right,
want to
no,
make another space
no
opera.
hurry.
As for concept albums are not convoluted, but it's not like you should. I don't know. I've listened to plenty of concept albums where you don't know what's going on unless you like really, research.
I think
do your
we did pretty
research.
good with a lot, even with that timeline.
I don't think it's too
totally like
convoluted or anything.
you gotta have
Yeah,
you have some idea by the end of it. Like there's no
Yeah.
way we're not leaving people in the dark anymore.
Oh no.
Well, it was 3 artists kind of working together and then sometimes crossing and then going. That's basically
it
what
all
it
worked.
is.
Yeah, and obviously we did put thought into it. It's just
that's what a
it's
concept
not.
album is.
There's
It's
not.
not
There's
like-
no big giant
There
exposition
doesn't
explaining
have to
it.
be
Yeah.
some like really tight, cohesive plotline thread or whatever.
Yeah.
It's ideas.
But I don't. But I think if we did something like here's our next album. It's all about Rex Marksley. It's called the
I'm okay.
Trice Prairie.
I'd be okay with doing more themed albums like that. Like, and we don't really know. We're still talking about the next album, but I'm excited because we don't have any songs that have been sitting around that we're putting on it. Like maybe
I
there
have
might be
one or
one or
two,
two, but
I don't. It's only if they're gonna fit with the album. Like, I don't want to force anything.
More new stuff than quintessential, which
Well,
was a lot of
it's just now that
older stuff.
we've had songs in the pipeline because you can only put like 3 or
Yeah.
4 songs a piece on it, so you have to kind of.
I
Pick and choose,
I'm
right?
excited to just. I mean, I'm starting to compose already, but it's like, it's freeing to just have nothing, to have no expectation, not knowing
Yeah.
what this album is, not knowing what that's going to take us. Like we don't really know what. the
Oh, I mean, we
sound's
have
gonna be.
ideas.
Yeah.
Don't let's our banter. Don't let it
Sure,
get dissuaded
sure.
from it. But
Obviously, we're
like I've already started, but but yeah,
we're working on it. But
we'll definitely have an album next year. I don't know if we'll keep the same release date. It really depends on when we, what the album's going to be. But the plan is for next year.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
I like composing. Composing's fun.
Well, technically, we're starting because our first we had a big long gap in between MK3 and our next album, which was Vice Quadrant. But we worked on SteamWorld Heist before Vice Quadrant. It's just that we
Yeah.
released that when the game came out. So in our minds, we worked on SteamWorld Heist before Vice Quadrant, and that was like a good warm up for the Vice Quadrant because we were able, we hadn't recorded together since MK3, and we did some cover songs, but I don't really count those. And that was like, it was a good step in whatever direction we were going to do for the next few albums. So when we got into Quintessential, it did feel almost like a well-oiled machine, I believe. I mean, or getting there, Like I feel like, we kind of know how to do this now together. But yeah, Vice Quadrant and SteamWorld Heist, I mean, that was a big gap in between from MK3, whereas now we're starting a little earlier than usual. Whereas Vice Quadrant, we've always had in the back of our heads for so long. Same with all these other songs. Like, it's kind of the newest start that we've had in a long time, because Vice Quadrant was going to be our second album.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of weird how, I mean, there's some newer songs here and there, but even then, like, most of the songs have been sitting on for at least a year, but most
Quintessential.
more.
Same with Quintessential.
Yeah, same with Quintessential,
I felt like,
same with
okay,
Vice
I guess
Quadrant.
like XCon, well, that's been out for a while. I get Photograph Memories, well, that's been out for a while, and
Overdrive. That
that's an older old song
World
too.
of Love was a really
They're
old
all good.
one.
Malfunction's really old.
They're all
Delilah's old.
I like all of them. I just
Yeah.
part of me is like, boy, I have to wait another year to get some new stuff in there. But it is new. It's new to the.
I think
Yeah.
some of Sam's are probably the newest. I would say out of my songs, Sleep Evil Sleep was my newest.
I think Don't Have a Name for It was the newest for me. All the others are old, and like like it's a good
Old and
good
decrepit.
10 years old. They're a decade. Some of them are a decade old. Crazy.
Yeah.
Or more than a decade old. Love Over Love was like. Anyways,
We like
Well-
talking about music.
Well,
Our music.
we like talking about it.
everyone
us.
enjoys it.
Let's talk about us.
Some comments were saying they would listen to you guys talk about song production for hours. So.
Cool. I'm glad someone would.
We could talk about that. That's
I mean,
not
we
too
love
bad.
we love talking about ourselves. Like we're
I've-
good at that.
Oh, who isn't?
Here, I thought I'd throw a silly question in just so.
Okay. I'll get the
So they
guitar ready
won't-
for this ending thing.
So they won't keep asking it. sorry, but I forget the name. I'm kind of scrolling through the chat right now, but someone asked any plans for world domination. Just I don't know what that means.
That's up
but-
to the consumer.
Yeah. Share us-
If you make us big, then that's what we'll be. But I think we're a niche enough that I don't think we're going to catch on pop culturally for everyone.
And in the future, no spamming questions in the chat. I try and see all of them, and I pick the ones that I think will be interesting. But,
It'll be real weird if
But
we
thank
have
you
to
for-
if we have to block Engineer-eteer who's
but
supporting.
thank you so much for your enthusiasm and for tuning
They're
in.
still gonna do it. They're gonna keep doing it. They don't.
How will
It
you
makes
see
it kind
it?
of hard to scroll, you know.
Oh, it got untuned. How about I play that one that we did last time, and you can do some ooze.
What's that?
The one I did the song that a different song last time
All right.
when you weren't here. It was the same thing that I strummed earlier, but there were lyrics.
You want me to come up with lyrics?
No, you do the background. Like remember, like in the beginning, like I did some.
Oh, you want me
ooze?
to do like ooze?
So just do some ooze over this,
Alright.
and then I'll start singing on it.
Okay.
I'll like play once, and then I'll go in. You let down your hair, you pulled up a chair. It was the Bennettarium. Bunny's back from a cruise she didn't have fun at. Spent money though. Chelsea Penyak was on show today. And Camille's at home, I think, or work. I don't know.
Work. Waiting for
Final
Final
Fantasy comes out. But David's gonna play it a lot sooner than she will. Because I got the digital copy and the physical one, you have to install some stuff.
All right. Well, not too bad for just coming back.
Yeah.
From the holidays of a whole weekend of pretty much doing nothing, which it felt pretty nice.
Because we'll have to talk about when the next one is.
yeah.
I think, not that, just to
Oh.
hype people up for the next one, I think Bunny and I talked a little bit about, we want to have one of your friends on as a guest.
I have a friend in town, and I think she'd like to come. She's a programmer. I'm not, and I'm trans, so I mean, there's some topics there that might be of interest.
Are we eventually going to have to get into politics or a little bit, or, because I don't know if anyone's waiting for us to say something, but I definitely wanted you to be back if we were going to be.
What do you mean, like Trump and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many. Oh my gosh.
I mean-
We've definitely like purposefully shied away from it ever since the election, but
Just because there's just so much, we're not
I would-
forgetting.
I would
Everyone's aware of
rather-
it.
I
It's
would
just,
rather just like have a nice, smart
Yeah.
discussion about it than avoid it completely.
but I don't want to get too fumed.
I would say
Yeah.
let's not do that next episode because
Yeah.
we'll have a. But if you want, we could do the light version.
I never want to do it. I feel like I've vented to the people around me, and I don't want to do it publicly, I guess.
It's,
Sure.
There's I don't really have any intent. I don't want to talk about the Trump stuff. But you want to talk about if we can actually share our experiences as trans women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's connect on a human level rather than
Right.
a
Yeah,
personal
it's
level.
I think
do,
she would love to
like,
talk about
about-
that. I would love to share my experiences too.
Sure.
And also
personal experiences,
So we'll-
not like
yeah.
talking about the election.
Cool. I'd like to hear all that stuff too. So we can. So
I
now
don't-
we.
I
So
don't
that's
know
probably
if
what
I'll
we'll be
be
talking
here.
about.
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
And that'll be a nice topic programming.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, check your
And-
Twitter feed or wherever we post this. And
Hope you enjoyed what today was probably cartoons and song production.
We have to
that's
come up with a
the-
title. Is there anything funny we said
there's
today?
a cruise and
'Cause
You-
the title-
You went on a good rant about Alice in Wonderland. Anything?
What was?
wait,
What'd you say?
dumb bimbo messes up everything. Is that what it said?
Is there's gotta be a better one? What about from the improv that we did? There was something about gift cards or it was McDonald's
Yeah.
McDonald's.
or McDonald's and what was the other?
Sturbergs
No,
was a very
it was
funny
the-
one.
Nabisco and what was the other
That's
one?
not
You
very
said Chips
funny.
Ahoy?
Robot
Chips
Puffs?
Ahoy.
I don't know. Chips Ahoy.
The title could be anything.
Gosh.
What? I don't know.
I can't remember.
It'll be one of those. Chips Ahoy.
Check the chat.
We
Maybe someone in the chat knows. They
I like the funny ones where it's like we take one thing we
I
said.
like Lunch Machine and
Lunch
I, don't-
Machine
I didn't
is our
listen to the
best
other
yet.
podcasts, so I don't know.
McDonald's, because then you have to listen to the whole podcast to find out where we took that from.
Yeah. Oh God, Lunch
gosh.
Machine.
It could be Bunny Hates Cruises.
What was the Johnny Depp? Here's Johnny Depp looking. Here's Johnny Depp in pale makeup looking sad.
Johnny Depp.
In pale makeup looking sad. That's it. That's the title.
There it is. Johnny Depp in pale makeup looking sad.
Oh, we crack ourselves up.
Well, as long as we're having fun.
I had fun.
Okay, you guys talk us out while I.
Hope you guys all had fun. Sorry if we didn't get to your questions.
It's good to be back.
We appreciate everyone who tuned in. I'll probably reply to some tweets since I don't know if those people are seeing the live stream. But yeah,
We should have this posted shortly.
bye.
So long.